Dream Chaser gets downgraded, Artemis 2 gets updated, and Starship Flight 11 looks to be lining up for a mid-October launch on this week's Flame Trench.
And here we go. We have liftoff. Propulsion continues to be normal.
R68 chamber pressure looks good.
Following up. Roger, roll, Atlantis.
Water towers fly! Yes!
Echo down to nominal.
Flight downside SC off. Bring in SC off. It's orange!
R45! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Decollage. What is it? Put that in the big bag, Eagle.
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
This methane will be igniting in the flare, correct?
Yikes. Keep that. Sure. We don't need any more of these.
Hello and welcome to the Flame Trench, our weekly informal news show. We are NSF, NASASpaceflight.com, and we are a bunch of rocket-obsessed space nerds who try to bring you the very best coverage of everything happening in this new space age we are lucky enough to inhabit. I'm Jack Beyer. I'll be your host for today's Trench, and as always, we are joined by our ever-competent cohort of co-hosts, starting off with Mr. EJ. EJ, how you doing? What are you reading? How you doing? What are you reading?
Hey, how you doing? I'm reading where in this systems engineering handbook where it says to fund a space plane for 10 years and then not launch it. I can't find it. Anybody want to help me with that one?
You might need the late stage capitalism handbook for that one, but I digress. Also joining us for today's Trench. I'm sorry, we're starting off hot. We're starting off hot this week. Also,
are you sure? Are we live? You sure?
We might be. We might be actually live this time. Also joining us this week is Sawyer. We've got the standard crew. We've got the complete set. How you doing, Sawyer?
I'm doing good. I gotta say, Jack, your first cold open was a lot better than your second one, but the world will never know.
Second takes.
Good to be here with everybody. I mean,
second takes
I know this is totally the first
never
time.
as good.
This is totally the first time we're doing it. We didn't start running the whole intro and do a cold open and everything when we weren't live, and then realized it later. That didn't happen. Hi.
Yeah.
Twitch saw it. Just saying.
Oh, Twitch saw it? Yes.
Yeah, Twitch saw it. Twitch saw it.
So
they
yeah,
saw it, right?
EJ does stream over on Twitch. So Twitchies, I'm so sorry. Twitch people, which one was better, the first one or the second one? I want to know. I want to know which was the better cold
It's just
open.
chat, man. Just call them chat.
Chat.
No,
Chatties?
Chat. With
Chat.
an E. Chat.
So,
Chet.
Chat. Okay, got it. So it's like my friend in high school who really liked ATVs.
Well, yeah, I call them Chet because Chet sounds like somebody that's annoying. You know what I mean?
But we love chat here. In fact, we love chat so much that we added a new command where you can ask questions. You don't have to type out the whole word NASA spaceflight. You can just type the letter NSF at NSF and then ask your questions. So if you have any questions, ask them as we go through the show today.
They all said the first one was better.
I mean, the first one you nailed it, legit.
Oh, good stuff. I mean, hey, it's lightning in a bottle. You can't capture it. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Sometimes you're not actually live. But yeah, so that's all the housekeeping, except I think Jay is operating today's stream, so thank you to Jay for operating today's stream. With that, we should jump into the topics of the week. And we're going to start off with Dream Chaser, which is now downgraded to a free flyer. Sawyer?
For now, potentially, yes.
Yeah, make me feel less sad about this, please. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Jack. I'm afraid I can't do that. But anyway, yeah.
He was a computer.
So, in terms of Dream Chaser, in case you're unaware, Dream Chaser's current objective, as of earlier this week, was to provide 7 ISS cargo resupply flights to the International Space Station under the Commercial Resupply Services 2 contract. So that was provided to them in addition to the currently operating SpaceX Cargo Dragon and the Cygnus, Northrop Grumman Cygnus vehicles. So this was going to be a third one. And again, part of that beautiful dissimilar architecture is this one was also a grapple vehicle rather than a dock vehicle. So that's more options of where they can grab it from, more options of how they can attach it to different ports of the space station. It's great. And also great is it has down mass, aka bring stuff back down. Cygnus can't. It can release CubeSats and do some really cool experiments with fire as it's re-entering and burning up, but it can't bring stuff back. Dream Chaser can. Well, if it was actually flying. It hasn't flown yet. And now doesn't seem like it will be flying to the ISS anytime soon, as they officially announced that they are amending their contract in terms of commercial resupply, and instead NASA is asking first for a free flying flight of the vehicle first. So just somewhere in space, hang out, do systems checks, test checks. They can do some experiments and things like that on board, but keep out of the keep out sphere of the ISS. You're not coming near us. So yeah, they didn't rule out the chance that they might still give them flights to the ISS in the future of being able to resupply stuff, but there's also that whole fact of the ISS only has 4 more years of crew left on it and 5 years total in space, basically. So yeah, a little late to the party. And I should say, late to the party in the fact that I was telling the guys earlier, I was at STS 135. We were in a pre-launch press conference, and all of a sudden they said, hey, stick around. We're going to have a special signing. And yeah, all of a sudden, Sierra Nevada Corporation at the time, Mark Sarangelo comes in with Charlie Bolden and Bob Cabana. At the time, you had the head of NASA and the head of the Kennedy Space Center signing an agreement to allow crew to fly on this new vehicle, a mini shuttle, a derivative of the NASA HL-20, the Dream Chaser. So this was this brand new announcement. That was 2011. Here we are in 2025, and not only was it downgraded to a cargo vehicle, hasn't flown, and as of now seems like it will never fly to the ISS. Could it still work for something like Orbital Reef and other private space stations? Yeah, and also kind of helps that Sierra Space is the one that's working on Orbital Reef a bunch. But yeah, it doesn't seem likely that we will ever see this vehicle fly to the space station. And if it doesn't fly to the ISS, the real question becomes, what purpose does it have?
One would hope that commercial space stations will manifest in a way that creates demand for something like Dream Chaser. And it all of the work that has been put into this by so many people, I mean, just look at all these time lapses. It can come to fruition in that way at some point. One would hope. Whether that will end up being the reality, I mean, I hate to be particularly dark with the humor here, but Alec Reeves in chat said they did name it Dream Chaser and not Dreamcatcher. I mean, it's one of my favorite like planes on a stick that exists is the HL-20 prototype at NASA Armstrong, formerly NASA Dryden, at Edwards Air Force Base. And it's a lifting body. And hey, look, Dream Chaser is basically an HL-20. It's a modernized like we've been doing this stuff since the 50s and 60s. I mean, HL-20 was drop tests from a B-52, but point being, it's been a long time coming. Can we please get a lifting body spacecraft of some kind? Like, please, pretty please.
Dream Chaser was dropped too from a height to try and land, and kind of had issues with landing gear, but you know, it did the thing.
Yeah. I don't know, EJ, what do you... I mean, I don't want to just like scream for 20 minutes about how sad this makes me. Maybe you can.
How much time you got?
If you have any other thought, like, I mean, I'm very curious what you think from an EJ perspective, because you're like Mr. Program management. Like, you think about these things.
Dude, I'm not trying to disparage or denigrate anybody at like SNC or Sierra Space, but I guess I just have one question. Like, what have you been doing the last 15 years? Like what's going on here? Like, being contracted for 7 resupply missions and then, not delivering on a single one. That's a heck of a swing and a miss. That's I'm not sure what's going on over there, but what I don't really understand. Like, it's not like Dream Chaser didn't get cash for Commercial Crew. It was in the running for for a Commercial Crew with Starliner and Dragon, and NASA ended up not picking it, and they picked Starliner and Dragon because I do believe that Dream Chaser was having trouble with its abort engines at the time. But they were, I think they got something to the tune of like it's over $300 million up until that point. And in 2016, they didn't get the Commercial Crew contract. In 2014, it went to Dragon and Starliner. And then in 2016, under Commercial Resupply Services 2, NASA entered into a thing with them about the 7 resupply missions. What's going on here? Like, what? I don't understand. They had a $1.4 billion cash infusion in Series A funding in 2021. Like, what's going on? What have you guys been doing the past 20 years? Like, I'm just genuinely, like, I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm not saying that I could do any better. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I'd have the same question. And it's like, I'm not, like, I can't emphasize enough. Like, I'm not trying to be, none of us are trying to be mean or jerks, but just like, why do aerospace projects seem to take so long in some cases? Like, I mean, I'm thinking about Starliner. I'm thinking about Bigelow. There's so many times where it just seems like all the pieces are ready to fall into place, and then question mark, and we don't get the flying cars that fold into a briefcase.
Dude, I'm hesitant to say, like, like, once again, I'm not trying to say like we could do better. Like, you, me, and Sawyer could make a better space plane or something, right? Like,
I can barely point camera, push button.
Yeah, but I'm just, I mean, these are no small sums of money. Like, they even spun off, SNC spun off the like Dream Chaser into its own company called Arianespace, right? And then they got Series A funding for Arianespace on top of that. I don't, like, that's that 1.4 billion in Series A funding. Like, what have you? We were seeing great progress too. Like, there's all these progress videos. There's the thermal vac testing that they did in Ohio, and then they moved Dream Chaser to the Cape. As far as I know, it's at the Cape somewhere, in a building somewhere. Like, what happened here? And they were making great progress up until about like last year, and then they laid everybody off, saying that, oh, the first ship is made, we're good, and then we haven't heard anything since then. Like, what's going on over there? I don't something doesn't make sense here. Like, what is happening right now?
Right.
Like, it's been 15 freaking years, and this design, and guys, like, you could say like, oh, this design was based off of the HL-20, and the HL-20 dates back to the 80s. Like, you could say that, like, it does, it's not like they have all the blueprints, right? And they're like, oh, this is easy now. All the engineering's been done. No, they still had to do a bunch of qual testing. Like, they still had to do drop tests. They still had to, make sure all their systems work.
I feel like we haven't said the words human raid at any point. I know it's supposed to be a cargo vehicle, but it was at one point supposed to also have humans, right? Like,
Yep.
There's many avenues and cul-de-sacs that it seems like they went down at various points. And to your like, I agree with you, EJ. It's not just because they had been working on it decades ago doesn't necessarily mean it's easy or ready to go. Like, here's a tweet that I found particularly. Look at what they took. Look at what they took from us.
Is that a Titan?
It
Yeah,
is. It's a Titan
Titan.
4, my dude. There's a reason Dream Chaser's launcher agnostic, and it's because it's sort of been around in one form or another for a long time. But to your point, AJ, I just wanted to like concur basically that yeah, it's not easy just because it's been around or been a thing in various forms for a long time, but still, it's been a long time.
Dude, I don't. Sorry. I don't even mean to interrupt. Like, like I'm not trying to say that we could do better. I'm just wondering. Like, I just want to know what happened at this point because I know stuff. You know, we know good and well stuff happens in this industry. Sometimes you launch a rocket and it goes sideways off the pad and blows up. Like, it happens. Stuff happens. Like, I'm kind of, especially considering like they were on the hook for these missions. I'm kind of like, I guess as a taxpayer, like I hate to pull that card, right? But as a taxpayer, I just want to know what's going on. Like, what happened here?
Yeah,
That's fair.
Sawyer, what are you thinking, buddy?
Well, I was going to say in terms of the whole launch agnostic thing, this was originally supposed to fly on Atlas V. And then Atlas was like, actually, yeah, we're going to stop making Atlas Vs while ULA was. So there was that whole big thing that I believe it was supposed to be one of the flights that was used as a certification flight for Vulcan was going to be Dream Chaser. And here you are, ULA, with your whole big plans of we got to get Vulcan certified, we got to get Vulcan flying so we can get these military contracts going as soon as they provide us the vehicle to launch. And they just haven't. So this whole time, you've got a Vulcan that's sitting somewhere waiting, ready to launch Dream Chaser, and it's not. So I'm sure you're also upset if you're ULA at this point of, hey, we cut a deal with you. We're going to make this good. And yeah, eventually ULA is just like, we can't keep waiting. We need military contracts. So, so be it.
Dude,
Pretty wild.
Fellas, like, I was talking about this on the Twitch stream the other day. And once again, if anybody chats, you guys think I'm out of line, just tell me. Like, I'm not sure I should exactly say this, but like,
dude, it's the trench. You got some leeway. Say it.
Okay.
I see.
You said you were going to do this. You said you were going to put 7 missions to the ISS. You said you were going to do that. Your company signed an understanding with NASA for CRS-2 to do this. You said you were going to do it, and you didn't do it. All right? I'm not trying to reduce it to some simple thing. I understand that this is tough. But you said you were going to do it, and you didn't do it. And even to the point where NASA's just like, NASA, who has launched 2 things into space in the last 15 years. When NASA is going, yeah, nah, we're good. Like, what are you doing? Like, what is going on here? Like, it just kind of harkens back to, something I can't help but think in the back of my mind. Like, if we're in a space race with China, right? If we got to go, and urgency is a thing. Like, we can't, you say you're going to do something, you do it. Especially if you're getting taxpayer money, man. Like, what is going on here? And, like, I think it's important to understand. Like, I was willing to give Dream Chaser the benefit of the doubt pretty much up until this week. Like, okay, it's a shuttle. It's hard. It's tough to get it to fly. I get it. But even when NASA's like, maybe you should just not come near the ISS for a little while. Like, maybe. And then they're like, okay, maybe we'll launch like late next year or something. Like, it's just, if they were going to be like, okay, cool, we're ready to launch, in November, and we'll do a free flight, and then we'll start resupplying the ISS, maybe I'd feel better about it. But when both of them, NASA's just like, nah. And then SNC is like, yeah, you're right, man. Yeah, that's fine. We'll launch like next year. It's like, wait, what? Next year, it's 2026. So you said it. The ISS goes out in 2030. You're going to do 7 flights after hopefully your certification mission goes right. Look, man, if you're taking taxpayer money and you say you're going to do something, look, I don't care. You got to do it. You do it.
Boeing Starliner has entered the chat? Question mark.
Pertinent topic. Interesting, right? You do it. None of this like, well, space is hard, and we'll try to find a pivot, and we go to no. This if you say you're going to do it, do it. So far, there's only one commercial customer that's doing that, and then some. And
Yeah.
might I add, like, this whole commercial thing with Dream Chaser and Starliner to begin with, and Cygnus for what it's worth, was, we have redundant dissimilar architecture. Guess what? The only two vehicles that go to the ISS, well, three technically, the only three vehicles that go to the ISS from the US are Cygnus, Dragon, and Cargo Dragon. And Falcon 9 launches all of them right now.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Whoopsie doodle.
Oops, all Dragon.
Oops, all Falcon.
Always has been.
At the same time, again, I bring up Boeing Starliner. As much as we, say bad things about them, and obviously they've underdelivered on their contract as well, but it's worth pointing out, because I see people that were bringing it up in chat, they at least delivered. Doesn't mean they delivered well, but 3 Boeing Starliner missions have occurred already in this time. There was OFT, the unexpected OFT-2, and then the crew flight test 1. What happens after that, anybody's game. They've at least launched, though. They've at least had their vehicle in space and return, as bad as some of those were. Dream Chaser hasn't even left the ground, other than being carried by a helicopter on a drop test in 2017.
Right. Oh man, you'd hate to see it, right? Like it's such a cool vehicle.
Here, like, I'm not trying to bark up Starliner's tree either, but they were talking about those poppet seals. We all know about that. The stranded astronauts, which weren't stranded, but you said they were stranded, but they weren't stranded, but they kind of were, but they kind of weren't. Like,
totally were.
And you know how
Totally
they
weren't. Totally were. Totally
No,
were.
yeah.
Totally were.
Oh, let's
Totally
just
were.
fan
Totally
those
were.
flames,
Totally
dude.
weren't.
Right? And I understand, the poppet seals on the thrusters, because the thrusters are getting too hot, because the pulse width modulation on the thruster, like, I understand if those were big words, don't worry about it. The thrusters are getting too hot. And if you cook them, you don't have any thrusters to get home. So it was a legit concern. But, when we were going through that, last summer, I was watching these press conferences. I think, Sawyer, you were at some of these, like,
Oh, yeah.
and they're saying, like, oh, we know a lot about, poppet seal degradation because we left a service module partially fueled out at White Sands, and it actually proved to be, like, super helpful. It's like, wait, buddy, you're leaving, you just left a capsule with toxic fuel, like, just chilling somewhere, and it started degrading components, and that's how you know how poppet seal degradation works? What is going on here?
2 engineers in a garage, like, eating sandwiches for lunch. It's like quiet. Yeah. And one of them is like, "Hey Ted, you drained the capsule last week, right?"
What? Oh,
Yeah.
like,
drops his sandwich. Oh no!
Like, what are you doing? Like, and it, like, once again, Starliner. They've launched stuff, Sawyer, like you said, they launched stuff, and that's great. I'm happy to see progress. I understand that this is complicated stuff to do. It is a really difficult thing to do. It's a difficult thing to make something that NASA wants. I understand that. Very, very true. I mean, NASA was using freaking Elon as a sock puppet in the Dragon 2 development days, because they were so far like, no, it's got to be like this to get into space. It's got to be like this. And they didn't afford that same courtesy to Boeing. It's like, oh, Boeing will get it right. They'll be fine. And then what? Like, what's going on here? What is, like, that? I guess, like, my bone to pick here is, like, just with these commercial partners as a whole. Like, what have you been doing? At least, like, have some grace, right? And be like, okay, we screwed up. But no one's going to say that. No one's going to say they screw up. No one's going to take accountability. It's just like, oh yeah, let's just make sure everybody forgets about that, and we'll just pivot to defense or something. Like, I don't know, dude. What is? That's not okay. It's not acceptable. Like, it can't be like this. That's not tenable.
You're gonna
Actually,
take your
SpaceX
bread and
was-
circuses, and you're gonna like it.
Yeah, right. Like, dude.
By the way,
it's so
SpaceX was
ridiculous.
given grace. At least that's the given name to one of their capsules. So.
Oh, I was waiting. We actually got a good ways in before we got a pun. So
That was pretty good. Actually, we are a good ways in, and we are behind in thanking people for supporting the
Go
stream.
ahead,
So
man. Sorry, I'm ranting.
No, you're good. You're good. I've been like seeing this super chat from Space Pope get older and older in the
I
queue.
feel that.
I'm so sorry, Space Pope. That was a good discussion though, and we're going to continue it and answer some questions here in a minute. But Space Pope did a $100 super. They said, "Bless this trench and the baby shuttle. Oh, thank you so much, Space Pope. You always come out with huge amounts of support, and that is even huger than normal. And is the panel broken? Because I'm clicking the green check mark, and it's doing nothing. What if I refresh?
Yay!
Did you check your TCP/IP settings? Enable cookies?
No, I
Want
always
this dog?
do my cookies. There, I think it's working. Space Pope, thank you again. Seriously, that's a huge amount of money. What do you even say to that? Thanks, buddy.
EJ, did you just toss the bottle?
Yeah, so
It's fine.
I'm angry. Look, this is my angry face.
Okay.
I don't know. Do I have an angry face? Do I just have resting angry face? I think I do.
It's just resting Jack face. It's
I
fine.
think all my faces are angry. Calor Gas ACZ, thank you for becoming a Red Team member. Linton Couch, becoming a Padrat member. Henry Explorers, thank you so much for gifting a Red Team membership. Drew Nar, thank you. They say, more spacecraft, more better. I want off this planet. Jim Yoder, thank you.
What good is more spacecraft if they don't launch, dude?
Yeah, I mean, well, you have to have them to launch in the first place. If you don't have them, you can't launch them. It's like it's a rocket in the capsule problem.
I think it was Eric in chat earlier who said any vehicle is launch agnostic if it never launches.
That's right.
Yeah, that's real.
That's right. It goes on the Square PAF.
Jim Yoder, thanks again for the support. They say you can ask Boeing how it goes. They also got a 6-mission contract and have delivered little to nothing. Is Dragon doomed to be NASA's only crew ship?
Dude, that's something I was turning in my head. Like, for the past 15 years, NASA's like, oh, we're commercial. We're going to save money doing commercial. We're going to save money doing commercial. Commercial is the right thing. Let's commercialize the suits. Let's commercialize the landers. Let's commercialize everything because we're going to save money. Yeah, you're going to save money, and you're also not going to do anything. That's just like double speak for saying give NASA less money. And where did that get us? Look at it. We have all these things. We have redundant dissimilar architectures that don't fly. That's weird. Like, does anybody else not see something wrong with this? Like,
no, it's wonky. That's for sure. No, you're not gonna get an argument from me on that. Although, what you are going to get an argument from me on is that we should. I got to continue thanking people.
Oh yeah, keep doing it.
No. Oh wait,
what?
sorry. You said to argue about it, so I'm arguing. No, you shouldn't keep reading the amazing people that are supporting us here. Ding ding.
Sawyer, you caught me out on that one. Thank you for the support. They grabbed a hat and one of Max's prints. Nice. Say more prints, more better. You people bring so much quality and good vibes. The world needs you. More NSF, more better. Hi from Magic Pants in Switzerland. Is Magic Pants the name of a place in Switzerland? Thank you so much for the kind words.
I want to believe. I want to believe.
New vacation destination unlocked. Magic Pants, Switzerland.
Yes.
Yeah, I just took a flight over to Magic Pants. It's pretty awesome. It's near Zurich.
I'm gonna abandon this joke because there's.
Do we sell Magic Pants at shop@nasaspaceflight.com?
No. Bideford, thank you for this super chat. They say, great to see the threesome back. And regretfully, I'm leaving the show. I'm leaving to show homes again. Cutting into my flame trench time. Grr. Gotta make money. Thank you all. And no, I'll watch when I'm home later. I wonder if there's like a market of home buyers that are Starship fans that like specifically try and get Bideford as their real estate agent. So they can just like talk about Starship while they. Anyway, thank you, Bideford, so much for all of the support. Jim Yoder, thank you. Echo Deal, thank you. They said, can we at least have some super Velcro or something out of all this space program expense? Super Velcro sounds pretty sweet.
Ooh.
Ultra Tang?
Ugh.
Hyper Tang?
No, thank you.
Mergs gifting 5 Red Team memberships, Space Pope gifting 5 Red Team memberships, and Ninja Decimator, pew, 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 with a super chat saying, Spaceballs, the spacesuit, commercialization.
Merchandising.
The kids love this one.
All right,
Dream Chaser the Flame Trench.
Let's do some Dream Chaser questions and then move on to our next topic. But first, let's do some Dream Chaser. I just said that. Let's do some Dream Chaser. I had too much Red Bull. Wontons says, I worked on Dream Chaser about 8 years ago. Been some time since I worked there, but I've been wondering when it was going to fly. But sheesh, it's been too long. I think we all kind of feel that sentiment.
You know,
Along
ev-
those,
go ahead, Sawyer.
I was gonna say along those lines, there was a tweet that was posted. EJ, you shared this earlier, I think, as well. That I think we have to discuss for the people that worked on it, and are basically saying we put our blood, sweat, and tears into this vehicle, and it hasn't flown. Obviously, there's now multiple people. If you see the comment that's right down below me there, saying the same thing. Sorry, what were you gonna say, EJ?
Oh, I was to great minds. I was going to say the same thing. Like, I've been noticing, albeit this is anecdotal, meaning like we've heard it from a guy who heard it from a guy, right?
Right.
Like, we get people posting on the internet, like, you know, let's see. I spent years tiling the ship, drilling composites, making every detail perfect. Management was a disaster and even tried to convince us they were on par with SpaceX.
Can I just say something really quick?
Hope.
Can I just say something really quick?
Go ahead.
That specific line that management
Ugh.
tried to like that specific line rings so true to me. There have been times in my career where I've gotten hired to be an editor or whatever on a film or whatever, and the director comes in and he's like, "This is gonna win an Academy Award for document," and we're all just sitting in the room like, "All right, buddy. Like we saw the dailies. Like this is
Hey,
not."
Jack, I'm a movie director. I'm the next Martin Scorsese. I
Right?
swear.
Like-
It's like,
There's-
shut up.
There's a way to motivate your workforce. There's also a way to immediately demoralize your workforce, and yeah, that is potentially like don't. Anyway, sorry, complete derailment. Continue.
No, that's right. That is a very apt comparison, dude. Like, okay, so first of all, why are you comparing yourself to SpaceX? They're a launch provider. They're a launch provider that also has a crew capsule that is used for stuff. Like, why are you comparing? SNC doesn't have their own launch vehicle. Why are you even comparing to them? Are you trying to compare to their culture? Well, I mean, clearly you failed on that front because it's taken you 15 years to make half of a prototype that's not doing anything. You missed your launch provider. You missed your launch provider's launch window, and they had to launch a block of concrete instead. Like,
Yeah.
like what? How, like, dude, that's peak delusion. Like, what are you talking about? What would you say you do here?
I'm good with people. Why don't you understand that? No, it's one of those things that sort of boggles my mind about SpaceX, actually, is that they constantly, although less seemingly lately, have like straight up delusional timelines. And we'll talk about the Flight 11 news and everything. It looks like it's going to be mid-October. We'll get there. It's another topic on the show. But SpaceX, we've all talked about Elon time or talked about the crazy timelines that they always say that they're going to hit and they never hit. But they generally get the thing done, just not on the original estimated timeline. And it's interesting to me that doesn't seem to be a negative motivator. It doesn't seem to be a demoralizing factor because that is in a similar vein, right? Where management is like, oh yeah, no, we're going to be launching off Pad 2 by the end of the year. And anyone with half a brain is like, you sure about that? You sure about that? But I guess it's a fine line to walk. You need to motivate your employees and you need to hype them up. But when you say stuff that's just like clearly way out there, anyways, we're hyper analyzing one single tweet, which may or may not even actually be from an employee, but it's something worth considering when we sort of dissect what went wrong here and why it's taken so long.
You know what the crazy thing is? Sorry. I don't mean to keep talking over you. The crazy thing is, we're just going to add this. Like, I see that. I see this. We talk to a lot of people in the industry. There's a lot of people in the industry that watch the streams and stuff. This is not the first time I've heard another company that's not SpaceX say, "Oh, we got to be like SpaceX. We got to be like them. We got to do what we got to do," and then fail miserably. Like, find your own stride, man. This stuff is hard. Don't stop trying to be like Elon. You're not Elon. Stop trying to do that.
Yep.
Yeah, and interestingly, that tweet that you were talking about that continues onward. Now that I work, quote unquote, now that I work on Starship, comments like that sound even more childish than before. So it's interesting to see just how big of a cultural change there are at different places and different locations. I mean, you get something like Virgin Orbit, They had a vehicle. It flew, and they didn't survive. And yet somehow Dream Chaser, 15 plus years in its development, hasn't flown and still has funding.
And I will just say, completely anecdotally, as someone who's spent a lot of time in and around Mojave and various aerospace circles, I think Virgin Orbit very much fit the bill of a company that talked a big game internally, and had employees, maybe at a bar later in the day after work being like, man, they don't know crap. Like, yikes.
Yeah, it's like, how out of touch? How out of touch are you? Like, I've heard all kinds of stories, like, of like people being like, no, we got to be like SpaceX. The best part is no part. Here, let me not put this part on the vehicle, and then that's the reason why the thing blows up. It's like, what are you talking about? What are you doing?
Also, where was SpaceX 15 years ago when, Dream Chaser was up and coming and was competing against them for a crew vehicle? SpaceX had yet to launch a Falcon 9. They had launched a couple of Falcon 1s. Falcon 5 was still considered a thing when Dream
Falcon
Chaser
5
was
Air,
on the board.
dude. Remember? Falcon 5 Air
was supposed to get
Yes.
dropped from the
Yup.
rock, from Stratolaunch's carrier aircraft. Remember what they took from us.
But just for comparison, in those 15 years, when people say, oh, they need to be more like SpaceX or trying to compare themselves to SpaceX, if you compare them to SpaceX at the time when Dream Chaser was on the drawing board, which was probably about the time that Crew Dragon and Cargo Dragon were on the drawing board at SpaceX, they were probably neck and neck at that point. But obviously there's some kind of cultural shift where one of them has gone on to launch almost 100 people into space, to complete 33 commercial resupply missions under a contract, and launch private missions as well, the first human polar orbiting mission, all while the other is yet to leave the ground, with the exception of being hung underneath an aerial vehicle and dropped to a runway. Something
That didn't
at
even
that
go
point,
well.
it's not being like SpaceX. It's what should have been from the beginning.
Yeah. Let's do some more questions. Maybe we have like a happier question. ResistoJet, and we see pop up often, is asking, what quick fixes would you or could you do to try to help Dream Chaser's chances of getting ahead and succeeding at this point?
Launch.
Launch one.
Okay. If it was up to me at this point, I would not. I would not. I mean, maybe launch Tenacity. Sure, get some minimum viable product. It's a free flying flight. The risk is a lot lower. If it was me, I would be getting the Dream Chaser assembly line up and running. All right, you have arguably a prototype. A flight test article here. Launch it. Get the data that you need and start cranking out DC 102, 103, 104, 105. Start cranking these out, because you have to scale. I mean, okay, maybe you have 3 orbiters, right? Maybe 4, right?
Right.
I would be going to that factory and scaling that factory, but I don't know. Like, the flip side of this is that, look, that's a huge ask.
It's a bet. It's a financial bet that when you have that fleet and you've paid for all of that, and like that, there will be a market for the services that vehicle will provide. And it's if the ISS is going away and commercial space stations are on the horizon but don't yet exist, and you're a company that's like motivated by financial blah, then maybe it doesn't make sense to scale from that respect. But I agree. Like, start building them, learn things, get a minimum viable product up there, and learn. Test as you fly. Do all the things like that is SpaceX like. Don't not fly a vehicle for 15 years and then expect to get it right on the very first try. That is the antithesis of what SpaceX does. That's old space.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. I mean, for sure, man. Like, that first mission ain't gonna go like 100% because it never does. That's not a mark against like Sierra or anything. It's never going to. But something I can't help but think in the back of my mind, albeit from that anecdotal tweet that we saw, like, I'm not sure there's a quick fix here. Like, my brain was just immediately defaulting to, fly that one and then really go back and start scaling your production line so you can produce more of these orbiters so you can get more flight data, right? Like, this screams programmatic. This screams management. Like, and that jives with what that guy was saying. This screams like a huge management problem. The comparisons to SpaceX, the really lack of the plan. Where's DC 102? You should have that thing ready to go by the time DC 101 flies, right? I don't think the problem here is so much technical. And I got this from one of my buddies over in Twitch chat, like a rocket guy over there. It isn't technical so much as programmatic as the root cause. I mean, he put it into better words what I was getting at. Oops, sorry, I'm blurry. I don't know why.
You got so mad you got blurry.
It's probably the smoke coming out of my ears, dude. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
But along those lines, there is another vehicle. 102, when NSF was invited to see Tenacity at one point, 102 was in the works, and that was when they announced that, thank you, Ryan, for reminding me the name in the back channel, Reverence was the name for Vehicle 2. So it was going to start with Tenacity and Reverence, and those be the vehicles that they kind of alternate between for the first contracts. So they have another one in the works, and they have it kind of named and theoretically ready soon. And one thing that I did see someone ask is how much of this is on ULA with the delays from Vulcan. And from my understanding, this is the exact opposite. It's not that ULA caused delays to Dream Chaser. It's actually that Dream Chaser caused delays to ULA and Vulcan as they were waiting for that to be able to launch it.
You know what this reminds me of a little bit? Like Reverence DC 102 being ready soon. It reminds me of getting a tour of Virgin Galactic's hangar in Mojave and seeing, I think it was VSS Imagine under construction in the hangar next to Eve and Unity. And they're like, oh yeah, this is the next one. And it was like, a carbon hull and the pressure vessel, and it had like some wings, and it was unpainted. It was semi-finished. It was like, cool. They're building another one. That was like, I don't know, 2018. Like, cool. I'm glad DC 102 is being built. I hope DC 101 flies, and I hope 102
Will it just be
flies.
another block of concrete things that never goes, though? We'll see.
Right.
You know what, fellas? Like, the other thing that I'm thinking about in my mind is that Sierra Space is It's not just about this version, the 100 series. Like, they for a long time they were touting their 200 series, which means we're trying to build a second version, that's crew rated, et cetera, et cetera. Like, buddy, you're thinking about building another one? You're thinking about building a whole different vehicle before you've even launched one of the 100 series. They've been showing renders, or they were showing renders of the 200 series. What are you doing? What are you doing? The first one doesn't even fly. What are you thinking about, a second one? What? Once again, screams programmatic. Also, while we're here, Shooting Star, like, that's super cool, and I dig it. That's really neat.
Remind our viewers what Shooting Star is if they don't know.
So, if we have one of the pictures, I think we do. It is like kind of a service module, not service module for Dream Chaser. That goes on.
The X-37B has like the little booty trunk thing.
It's not that one, Jay. Hold on.
Yeah, it's directly underneath the vehicle in that picture.
Yeah, it's this thing right here, down there. It's kind of covered up, but like, what's that about? Why do this? You're trying to tout some. I mean, you have some payload capability, but what was your rationale for driving that design decision?
There it is.
That thing, the cone that's right there. It's like kind of a service module that allows Dream Chaser to stay up there for long periods of time. Shooting Star can try to be it can float as a commercial station. It can free fly by itself. Like, what is this? Buddy, you're supposed to get it to the ISS, not like, what's that? Like, it screams scope creep to me.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. It feels a little bit Pentagon Warsy. I know I always bring that movie up,
Yeah.
but it really is like a super important movie, even if it's mostly fiction. But still,
Hey,
it feels like, oh, we'll just develop this other thing at the same
Yeah.
time. It'll be super easy, and then we can use that to make more money, or do space services.
That's what I'm
or-
saying, man.
And it's like, oh, we'll bootstrap this other commercial endeavor on the first commercial thing, but then it screws over the first commercial thing, and then you never get the bootstrapped. Yeah. Oh God.
Dude, I have
No, it's a commercial tenacity, not a commercial endeavor.
I got another anecdote from over in Twitch chat if you guys want to hear it.
Yeah, go for it.
Yep.
So this is from a buddy of mine, a nightmare story here from Sierra. It was scheduled to have structure closeout, but the prop team or something still needed access. Management said, we have to hit the schedule, so close it out. They hit the milestone, but then spent days or weeks to just reopen it to get internal access again to put the propellant tanks in.
My hat. My hat.
Yeah, thank you, Sawyer.
You're welcome.
Oh my God.
Here, I can't even. Let's do some more questions and then move on to the next topic, because I'm gonna start gnashing my teeth.
We need to move on to a happier topic too, of course. But
Yeah,
Dude, that's some soul crushing stuff. Like, come on, what are you doing?
For real.
What are you doing?
Ashton wants to know if we think Dream Chaser could be used to get stuff off of the ISS before it's deorbited.
You know what?
Need to get off the ISS, really.
Hopefully this statement ages poorly. I don't think that thing's ever flying at this point. There's no indicator that no concrete deadline. They said late 2026 for the flight. Dude, just put it in the rocket garden. Come on. Stop jerking everybody's chain. Or prove us wrong, right?
I'd love to be wrong. I'd love for you to be wrong.
And dude,
I want you to be wrong.
You know, the thing is,
I fear that you're right.
Yeah. The thing is, I like Sierra Space. I like Dream Chaser. This is awesome. And I think SNC is an awesome company. They do all kinds of cool modifications. They hot rod airplanes and stuff. They made the WB-57s that image Starship. Not a lot of people know that. That was SNC doing that. They modified the Canberras for NASA.
No, I'm praising EJ.
Like,
Don't let him go.
Yes.
Keep going.
I'm sorry. Like, I hate to go on here and just be like, this sucks, but guys, it's not, I don't think that's fine. I don't think it's fine, dude. I have no confidence here. And apparently neither does NASA. So
Yeah.
that speaks a lot.
All right. Well, I think we should move on to our next topic. But before we do that, I think we have a special video from Space Pope.
Are we about to be blessed?
Space Pope made a thing.
you need to pick me up. Let's go.
Yeah, we need a chaser for the shot.
Straight dream chaser.
Oh, a dream chaser. There's no audio. I think there
Wasn't
was
sure
no
if it was
audio.
just us in Discord or not.
Yeah, I was like, should I? All right, well, we'll work on that. There was no audio. Give us a minute.
Jay.
Really quick though, before we
Fix it.
do move on to
Nobody heard it. Nobody heard that. Both chats didn't hear it.
Based on what I
Jay.
saw on screen text, we need to read that.
No,
Swing and a miss.
it'll be a good one. Mergs asking about the future of Sierra Nevada's Sierra Space's inflatable habitats, because in talking about all of the much ballyhooed projects in the space, one of them is Bigelow, which no longer exists, and their inflatable hab technology was bought or was given to Sierra Space. So if we don't think even Dream Chaser's ever going to fly, then that means their inflatable habs are also probably not. It's probably not going to be a thing.
There's always the pivot to defense contracts. That's worked for commercial companies in the past.
Isn't that what Astra's trying to do now?
AVL tried that. Didn't work. Chris
but
Kemp,
what
I
company
don't know
did
what
you
he's doing. He's doing something. I don't know what he's doing.
We're gonna talk about it. we are going to talk about it. All right. I think we should do we do the space pub thing? We're gonna try it again?
Can we space Pope?
Can we space the Pope?
Can we pope the space?
All right, let's try it. Chat, give us 5x5s if you have audio. I'm fine with Hopper.
Wow.
I'm putting the Hoppy thing to bed. It's a big moment. I'm saying Hoppy's okay. I'm not going to complain about Hoppy anymore.
We'll clip it.
Space Pope will have to clip it. It's got to go on TFT tonight, too.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. What have I done? Question mark? Interesting. Question mark? Interesting.
That's interesting.
It's interesting. Question mark?
It is kind of an interesting question.
Oh, it's not foggy. Wow.
Typical Vandenberg. Wow. Vandenberg's having an off day. Look at the sun. Wow.
More flap, more better. You want to see the flaps. Grid fins. Squeaky. Whee! Don't worry about it.
It's a thing. That's what the Pope makes as a sound, yes, Jack.
Yeah, that's the sound it makes. Pope Van goes wee!
That was the thing.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Space Pope sent that to me like a week ago. I had to hear it, so all of you had to as well. My favorite part is the crispy gagang. Like,
I like the
also Sawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course you do. It's you. Of course you like that part. That's you.
I mean, my favorite part was where he said Hoppy is okay.
It is. You know what? We're putting that tribalism to bed. The new tribalism that we've unlocked is that Olive Garden is trash. We've reached our limit of tribalisms for fun. So to start a new one, I have to put an old one away. So I'm putting away the Hopper one. You can call it Hoppy. It's great. It's fine.
But who are you and what did you do with the real Jack? The real Jack would also never burn bacon to complete black crisp.
I can't believe you've done this. I can't believe you've done this. I can't believe you've done
Wait a minute.
all the forbidden things to bring up on stream.
Can we?
Sawyer?
I saw the photo. You didn't just burn it. You sent it to the underworld.
Can we go back to hating Olive Garden? I'm quite fond of doing that.
I mean, I think all three of us are actually on the same boat on that one, though.
Yeah, let's take a minute for each of us to just really let Olive Garden have it. EJ, go.
My grandparents are from Italy. Can't in good conscience go there. Sorry.
Counterpoint. It's not actually trying to be real Italian food. It's just trying to be a thing that you like and is good. How do you respond to that?
You can make stuff homemade from scratch, and you could probably make it better yourself. Stop wasting money.
All right, Sawyer, go.
And free breadsticks aren't going to cover up for everything else. Even the breadsticks are kind of mid. I mean, salad's fine, but it's a salad. The breadsticks, I've had better breadsticks at other places. And again, that's just to fill you up so you don't realize how bad the actual rest of the food is.
Dude, there's plenty of Italian joints to go to. There's plenty of Italian joints to go to. You're gonna pick Olive Garden, dude. Go to the Italian restaurant, the hole in the wall restaurant. I guarantee you, the food is better. I guarantee you. If it's owned by Italian Americans, I guarantee you the food is better. Go to the hole.
We don't need to.
Like this.
What the hell?
We don't need to show that. That's not.
Hey, who made this bacon, by the way, just out of curiosity? And yes, for those wondering, that is bacon, or at least was before it was demolished.
You know what? Sometimes things get a little bit burned, and I think it's safe to say that CEO of Astra, Chris Kemp, has been burning some bridges of late.
I was gonna say, even Starship doesn't look that bad when it broke apart over Turks and Caicos.
No, I was trying to do a segue, but
how can you segue away from this? This is a
All right,
war
I
crime.
burned some bacon. Okay, we're none of us perfect. Nobody's perfect. All right.
Bacon.
Okay, look. When you're
have you done
making
to my
oven
boy?
bacon, you have like a tray of bacon. It's on a single flat sheet, right? You cook the first round of bacon. It comes out perfect. You do it for about 20 minutes, 400 degrees, cold oven. It's great. Chef's kiss. What do? Then, when you have half a packet of bacon remaining and a grease-filled pan, you try and make the next half a pack of bacon. The problem is that second half of the bacon making is going into a hot oven and a grease-filled pan. So all timings are way off. And if you get distracted by, say, I don't know, goofing around in the work Discord during the 3-minute window when that bacon is perfect, and you're like, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes outside of that window, that's what the bacon looks like. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about the bacon. Let's talk about Astra.
It looks like
that was a
chat
really
very
good
much
segue
cares.
that we just threw in the trash, much like I threw that bacon in the trash.
Okay,
There you go. There's your segue. Go,
yes,
go.
that was smoother.
Who's doing Astra? I forget.
All right. So
EJ was.
I got it. So okay. There's this company called Astra, and they have a CEO named Chris Kemp. And Chris Kemp did a symposium the other day talking. I as far as I can tell, it seems like he's talking to aerospace students and where, like, what do you want to go with your career after, after college? Like, what companies do you want to go work for? And this symposium was filled with some very interesting phrases.
Some comments that were off the wall a little bit.
I'm not really 100% sure why you would say some of the things that he said. Like, dude, some of them are not even like worth repeating in polite conversation. Like, he said, long story short, he said, don't work at Starbase because it's near Mexico. It implied that Mexico is violent. Like, I'm a little taken aback by that. The other thing, he dunked on Firefly, saying that they ordered engines for them for their new rocket and they weren't to their specs, so they brought their engines in house or something, and called. I mean, it's short words, basically called the Reaver engine garbage. And I'm just not really kind of sure what the business decision here is behind dunking on other companies, like all your competition and stuff. Now, to be 100% fair, guys, and people are going to think I'm a little weird, I do understand what he was trying to say in some of his comments. I get it. So he talked about, how Rocket 3, his company's rocket that is famous for that Astra power slide off the pad and going out the front gate and then going up, right? Which was still cool. I'll still say that's cool, but that's because one of the engines exploded. Like, to be 100% fair, he was talking about how Rocket 3 is too small for the market, like Electron is. And everybody kind of took that as him dunking on Rocket Lab. I don't think he was. Guys, to be 100% honest, and credit where credit is due, the Starbase comment was a little messed up, but that's actually right. Everybody is pivoting to making a larger launch vehicle. Everyone is doing that, and the people that aren't doing that are going to get left behind. Astra's trying to move to Rocket 4. Rocket Lab is going for Neutron, right? Firefly is working on MLV. Their Alpha is a great rocket, but they're pivoting. Everybody's pivoting to medium duty launch vehicles to be able to ride share small sats, because that's where the demand for the market is. Now, like, once again, I do believe that that's what he was talking about in that particular regard. So he's actually right. Like, he's not wrong, but I'm not sure if, like, being the CEO of an aerospace company and just crapping on everyone else is the right move. Anybody that knows anything about, I assume you guys know, like, you guys are here, you're tank watchers, but if you don't work in the aerospace industry, everyone in the aerospace industry knows everyone.
Everyone knows everyone.
Everybody knows everybody. It's very strange.
If you need a part or you need a tool, maybe you call somebody up and you're like, hey, or you need time on a range and there's a conflict, you could call
Bingo.
somebody up and be like, "Hey," or any number of things. You want it would just make sense to be congenial.
Yeah, that's why I say, like, I don't really understand why you would go and say this. You never know.
Theory.
Yeah, you have a theory, you said.
I have a theory. It's not a particularly good theory.
Okay.
How to put this? We have seen in recent years, in modern times, how it appears to be a viable social media strategy to say loud things, even if you don't yourself necessarily believe those loud things, to get press. Now, I would classify this as a particularly ham-fisted version of saying ridiculous things to get press. There's a right way and a wrong way, and I think trashing your suppliers or competitors is not, like, generally you want good press. Yeah, Jay in our back channel is right. Generally you want good press. Also, I do feel like we should mention, like, we have done 2 factory tours with Astra. Astra has worked with NSF in the past for live stream services. So that out there, full disclosure, but just like, man.
Here's the thing, Jack. I'll say, these comments, I understand what Chris is saying. Like, I get what he was saying with the demand for a bigger launch vehicle. Absolutely spot on. And I will say, like, it's easy to do what he did and say, like, oh, this company's, you don't want to work there. They suck. Like, or you don't want to work there. Their rockets are terrible. Like, that's not exactly what he said. And I understand that. But so I'll say something good. Chris Kemp has navigated this company through bankruptcy, and they're still around. They're still around. In a business like launch providers in the commercial aerospace industry, Astra's still there. You could say whatever you want about them. He's led that company pretty dang well to pivoting to Rocket 4, considering after 3, they were basically on the ropes, like they were done. But he did a good job at the helm, getting that company to pivot to Rocket 4 and getting contracts for engines for Rocket 4 and going from there. Like, I will say, like, he's still around, he's still employed, still got a job, he's doing something right. Just saying, I'm not sure if this was one of those things, but he was doing a decent job. Astra's still around. They haven't folded like Virgin Orbit or ABL. Like, they're still there and they're still doing their thing.
I do wonder if they're experiencing any kind of brain drain, though, like over this extended duration between Rocket 3 and 4. This is I think this is an article from Eric Berger over at Ars Technica, friend of the show. Absolutely fantastic article. Eric did some follow up with Kemp after some of those comments from the symposium. But yeah, you can see some of the comments about Firefly's Reaver engines, saying that they didn't match the CAD, that sort of thing.
I will say,
go ahead, sir.
He is an equal opportunity offender, for lack of a better way to put it. It's not like he's singling out one specific company and saying, oh, it's bad. So he's called out Firefly, called out Rocket Lab, called out SpaceX, mentioned Blue Origin in there. And then even in the response to Joe Bernard, to Eric Berger's article, which Joe Bernard, who's been on the show, also responded to later, did say that the, quote, the famous sideways liftoff fully recovered and was on its way to orbit, but was terminated because of an error made by the government flight safety officer, close quote. So even throwing in the U.S. government in there.
All right, can we do a poll? I don't know if Chris B is in chat. I can do the poll if Chris B is. Oh, I think Chris B is in chat.
There's a bacon poll currently, though.
Okay, then that means Chris B is in chat. There's a bacon poll. Bacon. Oh my God. What did you do? What did you do? Yum. I like cremated food. Why did 20 people 21%?
I'm surprised anyone would eat that.
I'll
be honest, Chris Kemp is equal opportunity offender enough that he would even insult your bacon.
We're still talking about the bacon. No,
it will not go away anytime soon.
But guys,
can we do a poll? Do we think that the sideways launch would have made orbit? EJ, go ahead.
No, grab losses. Not a chance. Dude, it would have gotten up into space. Would have gone across the Kármán line if it staged correctly. like that's provided their staging works and their fairing deploy works correctly. They did have a little bit of an issue with their fairing on a later flight after that. That's provided all that stuff works. But physics is physics, man. Okay, so like I'll kind of explain this in basic rocket, so you have a set burn time on that first stage. That first stage is going to burn for a certain amount of time. All right. Now, losing an engine means that your burn time is going to go up, right? It'll burn for longer because it's 5 engines consuming fuel instead of 6. 1 exploded, or at least a line going to it popped or something. Now, the thing is that your burn time is going to be longer, but your flight time, the rocket going sideways and then going up, right? That's if all 6 engines were working, all that time going sideways should have been used to go up. Right? Because you have to counter the force of gravity, right? You have to go up there and then you have to accelerate, right? All that time just kind of loitering there is time. That's time away from increasing from getting to your staging velocity, which is the velocity that you need to separate the second stage. Your second stage has enough to get on orbit, right? I think it was too much of a grav loss, to be honest with you. Like, that's armchair rocket scientist. I'll admit it. I could be wrong. I would, dude, if somebody. Chris Kemp wants to come on here. He wants to talk about it. Dude, we'd love to talk about the slide with you. That was awesome. It was super cool. I mean, not many rockets can have an engine blow up and then still go up. That's pretty impressive. I will say, shout out to your controls engineers and your guidance engineers. That was really cool. It was an awesome flight. I'm not even kidding. And if the range guy slipped, was like this and he slipped and hit the button and it blew up, that sucks, man. That stinks if that's what happened. But yeah, come talk to us if you want, dude. We'd love to talk to you. That was crazy. He did Chris Kemp thinks that it would have made it. Like, if it would, why'd you get rid of Rocket 3? That thing is awesome. Like, come on, man, talk to us. That'd be great.
I mean, Rocket 3 had what, a 50% success rate though? So, yeah. I mean, you have to take that into account too. Of, hey, that's not working. Just like with Starship and. Version 2, yeah, that didn't go so great either. That's why, there's a version 3 incoming sooner than probably all of us expected. Yeah, you can have close calls, but when your end goal is get to orbit, I should specify, and you don't, yeah, you got to kind of relook at your design, which is what Astra is doing. So I'll give them credit where credit is due. They are definitely working on improving the vehicle. As you pointed out, they made it through bankruptcy and are still, proceeding ahead with their launch vehicle. So you do have to give them props there.
Yeah.
What?
He's still the CEO. Credit where credit is due. He navigated them through bankruptcy. Like, that's not easy to do. Like, that's not an easy thing to navigate through. And he's pivoting to a larger launch vehicle and making it work. Like, the guy knows what he's doing. I just don't really understand why you'd make these comments. Like, why would you say that?
Yeah.
Why even say that? Why even go there?
Yeah, some of those, as you pointed out, some of them should have never seen the light of day. Some of them were on the more offensive side rather than just, being mean to a company.
Yeah. Okay, the poll is at 300 votes. Do we think Astra's powered slide launch would have made orbit? 8% said yes, 74% said no, and 18% said I don't know. Also, Moldy Space in chat said, not that KSP is real life, but in Realism Overhaul, I've never been able to pilot the power slide to orbit. If Moldy Space can't do it,
right?
Ooh,
that should say everything right there.
Yeah, that should say everything you need to know right there. Moldy Space can do anything in KSP.
We're talking about like negative press. Like, why, dude? You don't need negative press. Your actions speak for themselves, and they've been pretty dang good for keeping Astra afloat. Like, why even go there? Like,
well,
I
if
don't
you're
understand.
trying to, if my hypothesis is correct, and he's saying things he knows to be inflammatory to generate press, then
he did a good job.
He did a good job, but if the goal is to get interns and get people wanting to work at Astra, is that the right way to do that?
Yeah.
Like, or if you're a student, an engineering student right now, and you see these comments, and you know the state of the industry because you're an aerospace engineering student right now. I mean, if dumb me who just points camera, pushes button, can see these comments for what they are, I don't think an aerospace engineering student is going to be particularly inspired by them, which is a shame because Astra has like a beautiful factory. They have what I think is a beautiful rocket. Like, they have a lot of really positive things. The Bay Area is a lovely place to live. Alameda's quite nice. You don't need to to throw mud on others to make yourself look good. But
dude, like, yeah, you're right. That's the thing, man. It's all cool wanting to advertise your company, but kids want to work for the people that are making the cool stuff. It has nothing to do with like other companies. Like, the other company, SpaceX is making the cool stuff, but their work conditions are crazy, dude. Like, let's be real. Nobody applies for SpaceX thinking they're going to work a 40-hour work week. That's ludicrous. Like, nobody goes in with that expectation. They're very upfront about that stuff, right? Like, they absolutely are upfront. The right thing to say here is, I mean, personally, like, and you know what? I'll put this out into the aether for, if there are young students watching this. If you're 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and you're getting an aerospace engineering degree, be careful. Don't say stuff like this. Don't do that. The aerospace industry is small. Everyone knows everybody. Don't do that.
It's true.
Don't. And I think that's a much better example to set than saying, "Oh, these other companies suck. Come work for me." Like, you can say that and not say that at the same time, like, without doing that. Do you not have a beard in this B-roll?
Yeah, no beard. I actually shaved the beard for this one. This is I think our second factory tour. This is Bryson Gentile, their I think VP of manufacturing. I might be getting that wrong. But to your point, EJ, this is so inside baseball. I don't even know that I should say this. To your point that everybody in the aerospace industry, it's a small industry and people know each other. I have been to a friend's wedding, and Bryson happened to be there. And I was like, "Hey, I know you."
the guy from the
this guy right here, from the factory, from the Astra factory, really great dude, like absolutely great tour.
It's
like,
awesome,
fantastic tour guide. But yeah, the aerospace industry is somewhat small, so be careful.
Yeah. That's like saying, "Hey, we make great bacon. We have the best bacon. Take a look at this picture of Jack's bacon.
Seriously,
you really want to cook bacon for them? Look at that. Do you really want to cook bacon like that? No, you come to our company," rather than just, "Hey, they make bacon their own way. Apparently 20% of people like cremated bacon from that poll. We have our own bacon here that isn't cremated."
Wait a minute, fellas. Hold on a second. I love dogpiling on Jack just as much as the next person, but he straight up admitted that this bacon is overcooked. It's not like that's how he cooks his bacon all the time.
And that's the point I'm trying to make with the analogy. It's not like, SpaceX or Firefly or these things are doing these things all of the time. It's just, hey, we're going to nitpick the bad stuff and show you and say, hey, we don't do that stuff.
Okay.
See the analogy?
Yeah, no, that was good. I like that.
Also, is another chance to rag on Jack's bacon.
I mean, yeah, okay, that's fair.
Fun fact: you can tell how long it took between the shooting and the editing of this tour based on the beard growth lane.
That's awesome.
Oh man! All right, well, I think that was a good hit for Astra. If you want to see their really cool factory or learn more about them, at least circa when we did our last tour, you can go check out that video, which exists on our channel, and I still think is a really good factory tour. Honestly, both of the ones that we did with Astra, I think, are really great factory tours. So check them out. Let me thank some people and we'll move on. Jim Yoder saying, "All hail Concrete Chaser. At least it got to orbit." Oof, ouch, my feelings. Jim Yoder again. I say, like SpaceX, fly, finish missions, and make money. Thank you, buddy. Mr. Fluffy02 with a super chat saying, "Mr. Yak, you cremated bacon. Me having EJ Las Rico port train roller coaster reactions." Are you still messing with that?
No, I've been messing with it since I gave it back to you. I started my own city on the same map.
Oh, nice.
Because I like that map.
We should probably talk about that in the post show. completely yeah. Anyway, I
Did you
ruined it.
do a
I
Bajan
ruined
to
it
your
much like
town?
the bacon. Much like the bacon, I ruined the town that EJ tried to fix for me. Thank you, Mr. Fluffy. I'd rather be flying an X-Wing. Thank you for the $5 tip to tips.nasaspaceflight.com. A little bit extra effort, but it goes straight to us, so thank you. They say, Jack, that bacon was so burnt, it's mad at Obi-Wan for turning...
I hate you. That's the bacon, probably. I hate you, Jack.
I deserve this. I do deserve this. Shazbert Toddbot, thank you for the support. They say, Jack, I work at a restaurant. Is this all going to be about bacon? I work at a restaurant and my chefs are embarrassed by your bacon. We are disappointed. Did you show them the bacon? Did you go interrupt the chefs working to show them the bacon?
He did.
Chris
That's
Bray
amazing.
with a $15 super, thank you. They say, here's a few dollars so Jack can get another sheet pan for his bacon. It's all bacon. It's bacon all the way down.
I am so glad you posted that photo. What was that, last night? Night before?
Oh my God.
I am so glad you posted that photo. You have made my day.
It was
Even
probably
if it
still
didn't make your
good.
stomach, it made my day.
Magnes doesn't have a super chat comment about bacon. They say, always great content. I've been following NSF for a few years, but my first time supporting you, it's definitely deserved. Hope to
Thank
support
you.
you more in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank
It really means a lot. And, if you haven't been supporting us monetarily this far, that's fine. Just hit the like button. I know it's a stupid YouTube cliche, but it actually does really help. Jim Yoder, again, thank you. They say, to Kemp, I'll be buying Rocket Lab, Stonk, not Astra. Thanks. Well, it's not publicly traded anymore. And UK Hudson, thank you for the support. They say, Jack, don't worry about the bacon. It clearly got cooked in the flame trench. Ha ha ha. Hey, he said the thing.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
There's one more.
Thank you.
Just popped in.
There's another
Chat.
one?
Yeah.
There's that one. Oh, Devin with a gifting 20 memberships.
No,
Holy cow, Devin.
He went over it on purpose, didn't he? Echo Deal.
You skipped that one.
Yeah, no, I don't see any other ones. Devin, thank you so much. Wow. 20 gifted memberships. The membership program is so important to what we do here at NSF. We cannot do what we do without it. You get a whole bunch of extra sweet perks as part of the membership program. And, you can also gift memberships, which is really sweet. So if you got a gifted membership, your name in chat just turned green, and you should thank oh no.
Devin?
You should thank Devin. You should thank Devin because they just gifted 20 people.
And the bus
membership.
driver.
All right, Echo Deal, thank you also. I'll say it. Come on, guys, give him a break. He was just trying to cook bacon with a raptor. I wish. That'd be cool.
We really would be cool cook it with like a BE7 or something.
Oh, yeah, Sawyer?
Oh, yeah. In fact, check this out. Breaking news-ish with our little...
Go.
Yeah, I don't know if that was supposed to be breaking news stinger, but we got cube zoom. Anyway.
Jay did the cube zoom instead of the break. Jay is having a time today.
Yeah, I don't think any of his soundboard is working today either, so him and Chris B can relate. But
Did you set it to Wombo?
I Wumbo, you Wumbo. Anyway, yeah, B7 test firing here. And what's really cool about this, again, engine configuration with flight pump, tank head start, and spark igniters. We're currently hot firing this engine 5 times a day. Full flow closed expander, specific impulse, 460 seconds, next stop, the moon. For those who don't remember, that is the BE7 is the engine that is going to be on their lunar lander.
See, this is awesome. This is the kind of thing that I wish we were seeing with Starship HLS. Like, show us component subtesting, show us elevator stuff, show us leg stuff. This is how you get people hyped. This is how you show, like, yeah, no, we're actually working on the moon stuff. This is walking the walk and talking the talk. 5 times a day.
Yeah, that's nuts. And this is is a Hydrolox engine, right?
B7?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, pretty sure.
Yeah.
Closed cycle expander. What is somebody smarter in rocket cycles than me? What is a closed cycle expander?
So it's a Hydrolox engine, so closed cycle expander.
It doesn't dump the turbo pump exhaust over. But what does the expander mean?
So, okay, an expander cycle uses cooling channels in the nozzle to heat up your propellants, and those gaseous propellants drive your turbine. So instead of a gas generator, your turbine is spinning from the heated propellants that go through the nozzles, go through the cooling channels on the nozzle to spin the turbine, and that turns your fluid impeller. Now, the tricky thing about this is like an RL-10 does this. So we watched the Kuiper launch. Who was here for that? You guys watch it with us? It was pretty good, right? The RL-10 that launched on that Atlas does this. The interesting thing is that when you're using hydrogen and oxygen, you have different feed rates. So you have to find a tricky, solution or a little trick solution to get the oxygen to spin, the oxygen impeller to spin at the right feed rate for the hydrogen. The hydrogen needs to go a lot faster, interestingly enough. So an RL-10 does that with a transmission attached to the side. Yes, not a lot of people know that. There's a gearbox attached to the side of the thing. Now, I don't know if a BE-7 does that, but I mean, it has to do something similar, right, to get the differential drive working correctly, or your differential fluid impellers working correctly. Now, Jack, those gases that were used to spin the turbine are being dumped back in somewhere in the nozzle. That's what the closed cycle is. So it could be used for film cooling, it could be used for nozzle cooling, or you could dump it right back into your combustion chamber to get a little extra spiciness in there in your combustion chamber. I'd have to look at a BE-7's plumbing to really tell you.
Sorry, I'm arguing with the back channel on who would win in a fight, Ryan, Caton, or me. I submit that it would be me. I have a lower CG.
Do either of you guys know how to fight?
No.
No, they don't.
It'd be a slap fight.
The only way that they know how to fight is on the flame trench. Ding, ding.
Hey. What else do we want to say about BE-7? That was cool. Literally, it's cool. Gens.
Yeah, now I want to go look. So it's interesting because it says it's a dual expander. Really? Dual expander. Hold on, let me see if I can.
So like half the nozzle's cooling with methane and or hydrogen, and half the nozzle's cooling with oxygen?
I think that's what that means. Yeah, dual expander.
It's weird because you would expect it to have like different thermal coefficients or something than.
Well,
you don't want half the nozzle to be more cold than the other half, right?
They could have alternating cooling channels, so hydrogen, oxygen, all the way around. It's possible.
Didn't think of that.
I'm not sure why you'd do that. Like, I'm sure. Well, I mean, I'm sitting here saying I'm not sure why they do it. Dude, it clearly works. It's right there. Like, hello, whatever they're doing is working correctly if they're able to fire that 5 times a day.
Yeah,
like,
clearly.
I'm sitting. When I say I don't understand that, guys, it means I genuinely don't know what that means. Like, I'm not trying to be, like, oh, I don't know what they're doing. That's not what I do. I play Kerbal Space Program. Like, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm genuinely curious how they're doing the dual expander cooling, because that means they don't have a gearbox on the side. That means you have two shafts, and one of them is taking the expander from oxygen and hydrogen, and they're turning different fluid impellers, which is actually super cool. That's a really trick way of doing that.
It's novel, yeah. Synthetics in chat says it goes in the hydrolox hole.
Oh,
literally, the engine is testing into the hydrolox hole right there.
That is so cool. Again, hopefully we actually get to see that on a lander soon with Viper attached to it.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, baby.
That would be nice. Get the Artemis program finally into gear.
You know what I'm thinking? Sorry. This is just me.
What's my transition?
Sawyer just served that up to me on a silver platter, and you're just gonna throw it in the trash. But go ahead.
And he took it. Yeah, now you've burnt the bacon, EJ.
Good. No, go. I'll be quiet.
The other thing I should mention is that the bacon is HEB brand jalapeno bacon. So you can't cook it.
Burnt?
No, you're wrong. You can't cook it how you cook normal bacon. It needs to be a little bit extra crispy because the edges of the bacon has that like jalapeno glaze. And okay, this is clearly burned. I am a failure. I'm not trying to excuse it. I'm just saying it was the second batch, so you need to cook it a little bit less, but you also need to cook it a little bit more because it's the jalapeno variety, and the arrow of time makes fools of us all.
So anyway, what were you saying to ruin the transition, EJ?
Dude, it's my job. I'm the monkey wrench here. I have to.
I feel like we're trenching good this week. We're trenching at full steam.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Spicy like your burnt bacon.
His burnt spicy bacon.
Yep.
I was trying not to dogpile on you, Jack. But I'm sorry.
Oh, I am.
Sorry,
I'm trying
man.
to. Don't worry.
I'm so. Oh, he's gone. Oh well. It's probably going to burn more. Probably going to burn. I'm sorry, man. He's not here. It doesn't matter.
He's trying to make it better with Leica.
I'm sorry.
Jack didn't even hear that one. That's the best part.
Yeah,
Oh no, I don't need. You don't need to say it again.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good.
So we're good. Or can we talk about Artie? Let's talk about Artie.
We can do that. I was gonna say that the dual expander allows you really, really good throttle ability for I don't know, a lander. Jeez, I know. Shocking revelation. This is why I was like, you know what? Let's just keep going. But yeah, dual expander is super cool. That's 44 kilonewtons of thrust too. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool design.
I feel like
lander like part of the Artemis program.
Yeah, there you go. You see, I may have messed up the other transition, but that you got another one. You got plenty. We're good. We're good. All right, this is me. So, guys, some good news. All right, good news. We've been talking an hour and a half for terrible stuff. This is actually good news. So NASA had a ton of updates here this week for Artemis, the Artemis program, for specifically Artemis 2. But on Monday, they did announce new astronaut candidates, or ASCANs for short. We'll just call them astronaut candidates. That's fine. So they did announce a new class of astronaut candidates who will go through the astronaut training. They might fail. They probably won't. And these, where am I going with this? Like the new candidates will, I'm not really sure what they're going to use with these people, but there's actually some really interesting things like an anesthesiologist and stuff. Which one was that? I have to check the list. I'm sorry. I don't remember all the names. I usually am way better at this, but, they had an anesthesiologist. They have Navy pilots, undersea medical officers. There's all kinds of good. It's whenever they put in a new class, it's like, oh wow, these people are doing all that, huh? Like I did the dishes. That's cool, right? So they did that on Monday. We got a new class of astronaut candidates, which is really cool. And then on Tuesday and then Wednesday, we had. Respectively, we had the technical.
Sick, by the way.
Oh yeah. There's the new class. They haven't got their names yet.
You got the LLRV up top, the lunar landing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what is it? Research vehicle.
The one that almost killed Neil Armstrong.
Yeah, well, not that one, because the one that almost killed Neil Armstrong's dead, but this is the other one that existed.
The other one kind of blew up in fire, but yeah.
Yeah, in the trying to kill Neil Armstrong, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I totally derailed you. That was a cool photo, though.
No, it was an awesome photo. I just want that big NASA worm logo. Can I put that on top of my house or something?
If NASA sold those, we would have the next 3 mobile launchers funded. And Bechtel would be like, yes, I'm rich. Bechtel's a person now, apparently. No?
Okay.
Mr. Bechtel, yes.
Anyway, so Mr. Bechtel. Yeah, let's go talk to him.
Jim Bechtel.
Okay.
It's Jim.
Anyway, on Tuesday, NASA had a press conference with the flight operations people detailing the details of Artemis 2, which is net February 2026, but no later than April 2026. And if you guys want to get in the meat and the potatoes of this mission, it's pretty dang cool. But long story short, they are ready to go. The Orion is in what's called the LASIF right now, and it's getting the abort motor panels installed. And once that's done, it's basically ready to go and be crowned on the Artemis 2 SLS, which is basically built in the VAB. It's just waiting on the Orion capsule. They are pretty much ready to go. A couple more things. They got to roll out to the pad. They got to do, I'm trying to remember the Phil Sloss video now. They got to roll it out to the pad. They'll install the flight termination system before they do, and then they have to do a wet dress rehearsal, et cetera, et cetera. But long story short, they are on track. They're on track for early next year for an Artemis II flight. Now, the Artemis II mission itself, they had a huge breakdown in this press conference. If you guys should watch these. Listen to the NASA flight operations guys. It's just so good. That's where you really get into the meat and potatoes. And I do believe Phil Sloss, a writer for NSF, was there. He was there and he asked questions. But long story short, Artemis II with the mission breakdown. There's the pad flow and stuff right there. The Artemis II mission is basically a combination of Apollo 7 and 8, and maybe a little bit of 9, depending on how you look at things. It is a complicated mission, but it's a tough mission. There's a lot going on, but I think it's actually a pretty dang sound mission, and NASA seems like they're on track to get this thing done. Now, on Wednesday, the crew, Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Cook, and Jeremy Hansen did a press conference, and they talked about where they're at with the mission. And Ryan Caton of NASASpaceflight, now space enthusiast, did ask a couple of questions. It was pretty cool.
It physically hurts me. Stop.
That's what they said. That's what they said. Guys, watch the video. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it hurts.
And we got to hear the crew's insight as to what's going on. And you know what? It's nice. It is nice to see the Artemis II crew. If you guys are hype on space, go watch this press conference from NASA. It's awesome because you can say whatever you want about SLS. I mean, me personally have been very critical of it, right? I mean, who isn't nowadays, right? But to see it all kind of come together and to see the crew out there talking about what they're going to do, talk about the mission, see the flight ops engineers talk about, the 3 teams, talking about the different phases of the mission. So the ascent and then the rendezvous proximity operations and then doing the translunar injection burn with Orion and doing a lunar flyby on the far side of the moon in the light and having Artemis II, if they launch it, if they get the right corridor, the far side of the moon will be illuminated. And it's basically the first time anybody has seen it ever.
Oh, baby.
Oh, dude, it's
on.
It's going to be so sick.
Come on. This is really getting me hyped up. It's the
good,
fact
man.
that they seem so on track, like you're saying.
Yep.
I mean, come on, my birthday's in March. Let's do this. I'm so ready to see another SLS lift off the ground, and I'm so ready to get us a little bit closer to boots back on the moon. I mean, it's been way too long, and I remember Artemis 1. I remember seeing SLS lift off the pad, and literally minutes later, I'm in the press hut at our little. In our little press hut thing at the press site, working on photos, and Brady's there, and Michael's there, and Thomas is there, and we're all just jamming away on our content. And I was just like, I'm sad because that was the coolest dang thing, and now we have to wait a number of years for the next one. And here we are. We're real close. We're real close to Artemis 2. I know we always say, go to Starbase, see Starbase now because it's changing rapidly and it's going to not always be like this, and etc. See a Starship launch. All of that remains true. But there's going to be so many more Starship launches. So if you, the viewer, out there in viewerland, are thinking about taking a trip to see a launch in the next, 2 to 5 years, try and prioritize Artemis 2. That would be my suggestion. You can go see a Starship anytime. There's going to be literally thousands of those launches. And you should. If you can see both, do both. Not everyone can do that. But, for the love of God, go see Artemis 2 if you can. We don't know how many of these we're going to get. And it's a truly spectacular rocket. And I'm so hyped
look at that
for this. This is how you do PR. This is how you get people hyped, not just saying crazy stuff.
Right. And Jack, sorry, I just want to say this one thing, sorry, before you say your piece. This reminds me of shuttle missions, and I'm not to say that we're looking at it with rose tinted glasses. No, guys, I watch shuttle missions, so you watch shuttle missions too, dude. Chris B, if you're out there, you guys know what I'm talking about. You know, when they launched the shuttle, it was special.
It's a flagship.
It was
It's
special.
a momentous occasion. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not something that I've really seen captured. And that is not to say that, I think the closest was DM2.
Yes.
So if you guys saw DM2, that is what every shuttle launch felt like. Every single one of them. It was special. It was cool. And it's awesome to see NASA do their thing and the astronauts go up there and talk about the, you know, the implications of what they're doing in the mission and how they have to do it and how they're ready to go. NASA should be doing. You should do this more. Like that's the thing that's popping in my head. It's so dang special and it means so much.
If only SLS flew once a year. Just like once a year. That's all we're asking. Imagine that. Not once every 18 months or every 2 years, but once a year. And we could just set our clocks to that. Like, all right, next moon mission, it's going up in November next year. Next year goes by. All right, next moon mission going up in August or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Just to have that sort of routine. I hadn't thought of that, EJ, but you're right. It feels like the shuttle. It feels like a flagship mission. Yep. And it feels like, yes, SLS isn't the biggest rocket. And yes, SLS has had its problems. But the fact remains that this is the flagship, right? Yep. Like, it may not be the newest aircraft carrier. It might not be the biggest battleship or have the most guns or whatever it is. But this is the flagship. And if this doesn't get you hyped, I don't know what to tell you.
It's just special, and I think it speaks volumes for why NASA should also be doing their own thing. The commercial missions are awesome, guys. I've covered Starship flights with NASASpaceflight. I've seen Starship up close. I've seen Starbase. It's awesome. I love it. But it's like two flavors of ice cream. They're both good, but one is, chocolate is not vanilla. All right, they're both awesome though. Like
you're so right, dude. You are so right. Like Starship is like a mint chocolate chip. SLS is like a double fudge kind of like double chocolate situation. Like they're very different.
I think SLS is a banana split, to be honest with you.
Hey, that's pretty good.
It's really complicated, really hard to make, but it's the best. Sawyer, go for it, man.
Yeah,
what do you
Sawyer, you've
think?
been awfully quiet, man. Like I'm super curious as to your thoughts in this regard.
I mean, Artemis 1 was the closest thing to a shuttle launch since a shuttle launch, being there for that. The hype around it, seeing all the traffic and the people finally back at KSC and the Cape and all the surrounding areas, seeing the hustle, the bustle, all of the people talking about, oh, I'm going to be there, all of the plans for it, all of the major news networks actually being there, showing it, even with, two scrubs that delayed it literally months in the long run, to the point where I wasn't employed with NSF for the first attempt, but was for the third. I don't know. I mean, as Chris put, it was an experience. It was an event. It does feel like that. But I'm worried that this gap of 2 years is going to ruin that momentum that Artemis 1 had, that feeling that it had. Right now, there really isn't a lot of hype with Artemis 2. I mean, yes, inside the space community, sure. And we'll see what happens as we get closer to February, especially given that this one will finally have people. But right now, it's not getting that buildup of hype like Artemis 1 did, I feel like, so much in the early stages. NASA's been a lot more quiet with this and not as publicly, oh, look at Artemis, look, here's photos, here's everything, here's more with the crew publicly besides this little press conference. We haven't really heard much outside of the NASA sphere. So I hope that changes, and Artemis 2 is going to be unreal, finally having the people there at the Cape as well. But
part of me wonders if their media posture is that they're trying to like operationalize it a little bit, at least in how they're discussing it. Like if they made a big deal of like, oh, it's like no, it's fine, it's routine, don't even worry about it. I don't know, maybe that has a component of it.
They did that. Yeah, they did that with Shuttle. How'd that go?
Not well.
Right. The only reason that people were interested was because of special events they used to try and get more people to watch in the early days, which led to disaster, follow-ups after disasters, and then the end of the program. Those were the 3 busiest times, basically, of, hey, here's all this media and hype surrounding a NASA mission.
I mean, Sawyer, I definitely think that these press conferences were pretty dang high profile. The one where they announced the new astronaut class, they had a senator from Texas there, senior senator from Texas. They had a representative from Texas there. Sean Duffy was there. They got it was a big deal. But I see what you're saying. They gotta really push that. They should be pushing it more. But also,
Right.
like, can't help but think, you know what pushes it? Launching it. You know what I mean? Like that's it, dude. When this thing goes, people will know. People will know. News agencies, like not space nerds like us, like the garden variety news agencies, they'll cover it. You dang right they will.
I hope so. I've sort of
Be
been
awesome.
waiting for what feels like a little while now for the swell, like the wave of public interest. Once we and I do think once we actually get Artemis 2, whether the swell happens before or after Artemis 2, I think there will be a lot of people talking about the achievement when it does happen, and hopefully that clues people in the general public to what is happening, because I really do. I really do think that there's going to come a point in the next 2 to 5 years or so where, in the same way that AI was I hate to call it a fad, but it increasingly feels like a fad to me. Anyways, that's a whole different topic. In the same way that like AI was like the big tech thing over the last 2 or so years, like I hope that people clue into space, the new space economy, the new space age, like that we live in, and Artemis should be the flagship that gets people clued in. I really do hope so.
Dude.
Yeah, I mean, once this thing goes, the hype is going to be real. Once we get closer and they start actually showing the vehicle out on the pad, doing testing, once it's rolled out, once the crew is doing testing out at the pad, a dry dress rehearsal before launch, things like that, I think that's when it's going to feel more real. But right now, the public isn't hearing much about it, and we in the media who have been following this, and honestly, most people in the space community know it's a lot of promises of, oh yeah, once a year. Okay, maybe now it'll be, every couple of years. Okay, now maybe we'll actually make it to Artemis 3. Maybe we'll get something beyond Artemis 5 if we're lucky, if they don't cancel it. It's kind of been that, never really been a big, oh yeah, hype event that's brought us all together of this is going to make it insane. Once we get to the launch day, yes, but I think it's hard to get so hyped for it now, given that we're still, what is that, 4-ish, 5-ish months away from
that's
the
fair.
attempt?
That is fair. Can I be like really completely 100% perhaps too honest?
Yeah.
I think about when we went to the moon in the 60s quite a bit these days, and I think about when I was a kid, and honestly up until my young adult life, I thought of the moon landings as a thing that the whole country was behind, and a thing that we all were like, yeah, universally, right? The country was divided back then. There was the civil rights movement. There was all sorts of stuff. There was a Vietnam War. There were a lot of voices at the time that were like, why are we wasting money on going to the moon? And I worry that whenever this swell of interest does hit for Artemis and the moon program, I worry about those voices in 2025, because that there's going to be the people that are like, why are we spending money on this? Why are we wasting money on this? We have problems at home that we should be solving, completely ignoring the fact that going into space and going to the moon helps us solve the problems on Earth. I worry that when Artemis 2 happens and when we start getting closer to actually putting boots on the moon, it'll become like a political thing, or like a one side versus the other side kind of thing. And it really shouldn't. Like, I am not a patriotic person in general. I mean, I love America, but I wouldn't really call myself patriotic. But I've never felt more patriotic than DM2. That was like, or Falcon Heavy demo. It was like, yeah, we can do stuff. Like, we can do amazing, great things as a country, like America.
Yeah.
I never feel that way. That's how we should all feel for Artemis 2. Like, we can all come together and do great things. And the anxiety, like paranoia brain in my head is like, man, I really hope one side or the other side doesn't try and use this to, like, drive a wedge. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, and it's our duty as commentators in this space, and hopefully everyone out there in the audience. I mean, I hate to give you work, but like, you know, it's our duty to make sure people understand that this is an important thing, and it's not a, you know, one side or other side kind of thing. It's we're all going back to the moon for all of humanity. I even hesitate to make it like a U.S. versus China thing. Like it's not even anyways, I'm rambling.
I will say on the patriotic side, my first launch, STS-130, I was at the Banana Creek viewing site, part of the Kennedy Space Center, right near the Saturn V Center. Once they picked up the count, I think it was like 4 minutes to go until launch, they did the national anthem. And I don't know why, but that just hit so different. Hearing the national anthem and then like 3 minutes later at night, at like 3, 4 in the morning, on a cold February evening, seeing the space shuttle light up the sky. If that doesn't make you feel American, nothing ever will. Holy cow, that hit hard. I think we need that hit again of the, oh my God, that's an American launch vehicle. Sure, there's going to be the European parts on it. There's going to be a Canadian astronaut on it. It's a lot more international now than it was for the shuttle program, but dang, that felt good. And
it all goes back to the Elon and SpaceX sort of thing, where it's like it's more inspiring, it's better, it's more hopeful to live in a future where cool things are happening. And you know, it's go ahead, EJ.
Yeah, guys, you guys are touching base on what the crew actually talked about on Wednesday. Jeremy Hansen was asked this exact question, and you know what he said? He said one of the, like, I am straight up using this. It's like, you know, I'm just going to take this meme and put it in my meme folder and put it right in my meme pocket. No, what Jeremy Hansen said is that, look, the space program, and I'm paraphrasing here, the space program and going back to the moon isn't a solution to all of our problems, but it is a check mark in the positive box for all of our problems. It's a check mark over there. It's a tally saying we're moving in the right direction. And I think that's one of the smartest things I've ever heard anyone ever say about what NASA's job is and what they should be doing. It's not a solution to all of our problems. It's not the end-all be-all solution. I'm saying that as a spaceflight fan. I understand that. I'm pretty sure everybody here understands that. But it's a check mark in the right direction. That's absolutely 100% true. And it was great. Like I said, guys, watch those press conferences. They're so good. It'll make you feel amazing about this.
Right.
Also, one thing absolutely. I hate to bring up, but you were talking, Jack, about all of the, you know, there was obviously Vietnam, there was the civil rights movement, there was all the unrest at home of why are we spending money on the moon when we need to spend it here on Earth.
Right.
Another thing that's worth remembering is in the early 1970s, I think it was only about 10 to 20% of people that thought that we never landed on the moon. That number is scary higher now. Also, we're in an era where AI is a thing, and AI has gotten dramatically better. And you know what a lot of the headlines are going to be. Are we really going to the moon? Is this real? Can we even go to the moon? I'm just saying, that's going to be another thing that the media is going to have to either dissuade, what NASA's going to have to try and dissuade, what we as space fans are going to have to dissuade. But it's just something that we're going to have to remember. There is a large part of the population right now that thinks we never meant to the moon, and here we are going back to the moon. I believe we did. Just saying that. I think we totally did. I've met half the people that walked on the moon. I believe them. But just throwing that out there.
No, you're right. You're right. And like that's going to be inevitable. Like so many things are inevitable with the return to the moon. Of course, there's going to be sides that try and score political points. There's going to, when it's, there's going to be stuff like that kind of is grating Sawyer. But my answer to the how do you head off the moon landing conspiracy theorists with the second round of landings, reality is very frequently crazier than anything you can make up. So how do you head them off at the pass? You make sure that when we do land on the moon again, you have the craziest, best, most unrefutable footage of it. You know, yeet a camera out of the damn rocket as you're coming in to land, so you have a third-party view of the thing coming down. Like, do whatever it takes, because we're probably going to be going back to the moon in an era when deepfakes and AI-generated CG is like trivial to do. But if you do your job good enough, in theory, as a communications department and as a as an agency that's communicating what you're doing to the public with their tax dollars, it should be basically unrefutable. But I say should be. I feel like we increasingly live in a post-fact reality, so who knows
Also,
what is
NASA's
even real
never been
anymore.
great at tooting their own horn. I just got to say that.
Yeah,
They're
that's
terrible at promoting themselves.
EJ,
They
it looks like you
can't.
have thoughts.
I mean, they can't. They can't. They can't be preemptive about stuff. You have to go to them. Ask any NASA PAO. You have to be the one that initiates conversation. And unfortunately, the people that initiate conversation are the. But guys, you know what, dudes? I'm not trying to say that there isn't any component to what you guys are saying, but people are always gonna say like, oh, we have problems here, like, why don't we fix those problems, why are we spending money? Yeah, guess what, man, that's the same thing people said 50 years ago. Have we solved all those problems? No, we haven't. Like, that's what I mean about what Jeremy Henson's saying. It is a check mark in the right direction. It helps us get there. It's not a solution to all of our problems, and I would say that is the most important thing that we need to put forward. Also, guys, our jobs are on the internet. It's on the internet. Amplifying my vocal, the loudest people on the internet is something that happens. That is just how communications works on the internet. The loudest people get the most attention.
Cough, Chris Kemp, cough.
Exactly. I don't.
Bird bacon, cough.
Seriously, dude?
Wow. I don't think that. I think the vast majority of people.
No, Siri, stop! Oh my God, hang on.
I don't know what just happened. Anyway,
I don't either, but I love it.
Okay, Jay, bring me on the big camera again. Sorry, I don't mean to backseat produce. If you could, if it's not too much of a bother. Listen, guys. I think the vast majority of people are going to be hype on this. I think people will see astronauts on the far side of the moon, and I think people will get inspired again. Hey, not to disagree with you guys, but I disagree. I think in this day and age, we got to go back to trusting people. And don't get me wrong, we should put our best foot forward as spaceflight educators, and we absolutely will. But you got to put the footage out there, and you can't listen to the static. If we're going to sit here and we're going to dread about the static, right? Guess what? The static will get louder. No, this achievement should be celebrated. We should educate as well, but it should be celebrated, and I think people will understand that. I really do. Honest.
No, this is classic EJ mantra. Like, don't feed the trolls, basically.
Why are we even talking about this, man?
Yeah, let's move on.
I ain't gonna let some people that don't understand physics rain on my damn parade. We're sending people back to the moon, guys. That's a couple months away. That's not that far. Well, not more than a couple. It's almost October right now. It's almost October. So October, November, December, January, February. That's 5 months away. We're this close.
Yep.
We're this close. The ball's on the 5-yard line, to speak in hand egg terms. Let's do this.
I don't disagree with you. I just wanted to be the counter argument, because otherwise it's weird if we're all just agreeing on the same thing.
I disagree with that.
I'm not even worried about the people that think the Earth is flat, or we didn't go to the moon, or whatever. I'm not even worried about that. Those people are going to talk no matter what. Why don't we solve the problems here on Earth? Yeah, people have been saying that for the last half century. I'm not even worried about that.
But it hurts, like when I saw a post the other day on Instagram, photographer captured 2 comets on the verge of colliding in space. It's a Falcon 9 boost back burn. It hurts me when you get 50,000 people and hundreds of comments like, oh, this is amazing. What? And it's like, it's not. Anyway, that's a whole other debate.
The optimist in me, in that specific case, Sawyer, the optimist in me thinks about how when I was a kid, I saw a photo of a oh God, what's the engine in the SR50 or in the SR71? It's like a J58.
J58.
Yeah, I saw. So like, there's that iconic image of a J58 on a engine stand blasting the afterburner because they were burning off all the remaining fuel for those engines.
JP7.
I saw photos of that when I was a real little kid, and like it was my computer background along with the XB70 for a long time. Those photos like made an impact on me. And I probably didn't know what they were. I definitely didn't know what that engine was or what its significance was or why they were firing it in that way. And maybe I saw some incorrect information, but at a certain point I was like, man, what's up with that end? Like, why was that? What is this photo? And I took it upon myself to learn. So hopefully, even in crap, horrible hell stew posts like that are just completely wrong, some percentage of the people that see it will do a little bit of their own digging and actually learn something.
I mean, dude, how many people, there were certainly critics of the Apollo program, but how many scientists and engineers did that program make? It's incalculable. It's incalculable. How many scientists and engineers and aerospace engineers and computer software engineers, the Apollo program, it's immeasurable. We don't know. The net positives were self-evident, and I think they're going to be self-evident again. I really do.
I agree.
We're going, man. Time to get hyped. Don't listen to the
without
static.
Apollo. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, without Apollo, we would have never had engineers who were interested in moving on to the shuttle program. Without Apollo, we would have never had people who grew up on the Space Coast and found their passion for it. Without the moon landings, we would not have had entire generations where families that started on Apollo, then worked on shuttle, now moved to companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin and all these different ones. I mean, without the Apollo program, Falcon 9 probably doesn't exist. It's that passion and that excitement from the program that allows us to go from seeing, Apollo on the surface of the moon to seeing, Falcon 9 transit through the sun and go, this is all connected.
Speaking of Falcon 9 transiting through the sun.
Oh?
Yes, we added two.
Here comes the merch plug. Woo,
we added 2 new prints to the store from Max Evans featuring Falcon 9 transiting the sun. And they're absolutely beautiful prints. They come on metal and paper. The metal prints don't need a frame. They're printed directly on metal. That's why it's called a metal print. And you can just hang them right on the wall, like right out of the box, hang it on the wall. Really nice. They look great. And these photos, I mean, how do you even, it's just fantastic work from Max. He absolutely cooked and ate and left no crumbs. That's what kids say, right? But
What?
a portion of the sale, don't worry about it. A portion of the sale from each print goes to the photographer who made the image, and it really does make a meaningful difference at the end of every month when that payment comes in, because we can use it to, live on or, refurbish gear, replace gear, get new gear, so that we can continue to make awesome imagery like this. So, yeah.
Max cooked and you burnt. Got it.
Damn.
I'm not going to let it go through the rest of the show. Just hope you know that.
Jeez. Wow.
Ryan in the back channel, I said he cooked and ate and left no crumbs. At least that's what I thought I said. Did I stroke out in the middle of that and leave the ate part out?
No.
Or are you gaslighting me?
No, you said he cooked and ate and left no crumbs.
Yeah,
Sure.
See, Ryan, you're wrong. Ryan's wrong in the back channel.
Hey,
Deal with
he's a
it, Ryan.
spaceflight enthusiast. Let him talk.
I mean, he's not wrong that I'm old. I am old, but everything else.
Oh my god.
You know,
Brian in chat said Jack does not have the Skibbity Sigma Riz.
Were those words?
Apparently.
They're demonstrably not. We should probably move on to our next topic, Areno, which appears to be Blue Origin. Sawbird. What's going on with Blue?
Sawbird?
Sawby.
Sawby's fine. Sawdog. Where the hell did Sawbird come from?
It's like a flavor of ice cream.
That's
Sawbird.
sherbet, not... And even so, that's sherbet, not sherbert. But anyway.
I disagree.
Escapade, there you go. Update. So we're finally getting an update on that. The Escapade mission, which is set to be the next flight of Blue Origin's New Glenn, is at the Astrotech facility, which is in the Cape area, but not directly on Kennedy Space Center / Cape Canaveral Space Force Station property, getting ready to go for launch. And then the real big question has always been, well, where is New Glenn at in terms of vehicle-wise? Because we saw the second stage for this particular mission do a static fire test back in April. So, cool. What about stage 1? You're looking at it. Finally, we have an image of it there. So GS1 is set to head out to the launch pad, which is Launch Complex 36 at the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, early next month. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we will see, which direction? There we go. That vehicle out at the pad. Finally getting exciting for that. Then comes the hot fire campaign. So they will plan to do the static fire middle of the month or so. And then after that will be launch, I should say, soon thereafter was the wording that they used in the post. A little on the vague side, but then again, you got to see the results of the static fire and see what happens. There you can see the exact wording on the screen. So in theory, if we take the timelines from what we saw previously, it's about right that the rollout would be 2 to 3 weeks. The difference being, last time it took them like a couple of months after the static fire to actually get to the flight, but that was flight 1. This is flight 2. So it's worth noting that I don't think we're going to have a 3-month wait after the static fire to when we actually see flight 2 lift off. So
Wait,
maybe...
is this launch footage sped up?
Oh my god.
Dang, man.
Sick burn, like the bacon. So...
Dude, you asked for that. Come on.
I did. That's what I get for interrupting Sawyer.
But anyway, yeah, this is their second vehicle. So we will see. It looks like things are finally getting ready. We saw it in about a similar stage for Flight 1 before they rolled out. I don't know, though. I think we'll see a launch this year. I guess it's just a matter of when this year, in my opinion, at least.
Sawyer, I think you're right. Guys, I know I've been critical of Blue over the past couple of months. Like you said, you were going to fly 6 times, right? You're going to fly 6 times. Where the heck's your first stages? Well, guess what, man? There you go. There you go. Talk is cheap in this industry. Talk is cheap. It's not going to get you very far. You know what's going to get you far? A gigantic first stage. That's going to get you somewhere. So good on Blue for showing it. Good on them for following through. There must have been something with the first stage that they learned from that first flight. And they put their heads down, got whatever needed to get done, and now we're seeing the fruits of that labor. And man, that thing's beautiful. It's the goods, man. Oh, it looks so good, dude. I love it.
So excited. I cannot wait till they actually land one and they get into reuse. New Glenn's going to be a treat, a real treat.
It's a monster. It's a monster of a rocket. It can't be understated. That is a gigantic vehicle.
And again, a vehicle that is supposed to land and be recovered, which obviously that was the reason they had the mishap investigation on the last flights, because their license covers the launch and landing. The launch itself made it to orbit. Their block of concrete went where it had to go. Now we have, Escapade that should be on its way out to Mars. So.
Yep. That's what this mission is, right? They're putting Escapade on this one, right? It's got to be sometime soon, right?
You always get the Mars transfer window or anything, right?
Yeah, no. Yeah.
You beat me to it, Sawyer. We get the question like, how can they even do this outside of the transfer window? And it's just they have a whole bunch of margin on the rocket, and the payload's tiny, right?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, transfer windows are just kind of represent opportune times. Like that's the most efficient time. That's going to use the least amount of delta V, and usually it's a quick transfer time. Like that's the most efficient in terms of, balancing time with, delta V, like considering energy. But I mean, honestly, guys, like with enough delta V, you could get to Mars right now. You just need a gigantic rocket launching a really small payload. You're not going to get any people to Mars right now, but this thing, yeah, sure, no problem. Escapade is tiny. That's a tiny payload. It's going to look real funky. When we see the photos of them encapsulating Escapade in the fairing, if they show that, it's going to look a little weird. It's going to look like the fairing's empty.
What was the really tiny one? I mean, there's been a couple on Falcon 9. Was it DART?
IXPE.
Yeah, Ixby. That's right. It was Ixby.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
where
like tiny
SpaceX,
spacecraft.
yeah, where SpaceX did a 27-degree on-orbit plane change in low Earth orbit with Falcon 9 second stage, which is still bananas, by the way. That's
Right.
ridiculous. That is a 27-degree burn, like out of orbit plane change in low Earth orbit is okay. I mean, that just shows with enough delta V, you can pretty much do anything.
I mean, that was
You know?
one of the reasons for Starship being as big as it was way back in the day when they first started talking about it, when it was the Mars Colonial Transporter. It's like, we'll get there faster because we'll just burn a whole bunch more propellant on the way there, and once we get there to slow down because we have a whole bunch of propellant because rocket big. We'll see if that concept of operations lives on. You know what is going to live on though? NSF, because y'all keep coming out and supporting what we do. So let me thank some
so good.
people
Sorry, I'm
for
sorry.
the support. No, you're good.
My footage
Roseanne
is
DeVasto.
righteous.
It is. It's really good. Roseanne, thank you for the super chat. They say, love oven crunch bake over crunch bacon. Just add it to salad and enjoy. It's true. Bacon that's been cooked a little bit too much can be used more better in sandwiches and things, because you don't want soggy bacon in your sandwich. You want the crunch, but you don't want that bacon. It was burnt. Steve, thank you for the support. They say that bacon looks like the cook had consumed absinthe and tequila. You're really not going to let that go, huh, Steve? Jim, thank you for the support. They say, poll of who got more roasted, the bacon or Jack.
Oh.
These are all going to be bacon related. Ninja Decimator, pew pew pew. Thank you. They say, Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, Jack burnt bacon on the stick. There's so many too. We're not even halfway.
Oh, you guys delivered today. Thank you.
Aramil says BE7 bacon in Kindler 7. That one's a stretch, Aravale. Or Aramil. Space Pope, thank you for the support. I'm sure we've all burnt toast. Can cut Jack some slack or I'll never visit Starbase. Thank you, Space Pope. Baz Top, BE7 versus bacon equals. Thank you for the support. JK Video, say that bacon is better than undercooked. Oh, you can at least cook bacon more if it's undercooked. You can't uncook it. You can't unburn bacon. But thanks for the super chat, Mr. Fluffy. Thank you. See, that's great, Dave Limp. When New Glenn Flight 2. Jim Yoder, thank you. They say dual expander. Both the fuel and ox gas get heated, separate channels or a heat exchanger, and 2 turbines. No gearbox or sealing needed. Neat.
Oh, crap. Am I muted? Crap. I never make that mistake.
You were muted? You
Wait,
were
do we have
talking while
the
muted?
graphic?
You were making some good points. All right, now say everything you just said exactly as good as you just said it.
We had a stinger for this moment. I don't know if we still... I don't know if
never
it's a
make
Kevin
that
only
mistake,
thing, Jay,
dude.
or what?
Come on.
First
I'm
time for everything.
I'm slipping, chat. I'm slipping. Sorry, it's been a weird week. Those early launches really screwed my brain up. Anyway,
I wonder if Twitch heard it.
No, I don't think anybody heard that. Dude, it was muted in vMix because I'm an idiot. Sorry about that. Anyway, what I was saying, guys, is that the dual expander cycle is super cool, and it won't use that gearbox. This is what I wanted to talk about before I screwed up the segue before, and now, when I screwed up muting my mic. Apologize about that. I'm wondering if they're using a heat exchanger for the liquid oxygen or if they're putting it through cooling channels. Because what I was saying is that you generally don't want to put oxygen through your cooling channels unless you absolutely have to. Oxygen's not really good at exchanging heat. It's not good to keep stuff cool. I know it's like people say, like, well, DJ, it's really cold. It's not really conductive of heat very well. Like, you'd want to use hydrogen to do that. So I'd be wondering if the B7 has a heat exchanger on it or if they're doing like alternating cooling channels, which doesn't really make sense either. But either way, it's a super trick design. And you should be like that thing is super. Like you should be able to throttle that thing like down well below like 30% throttle, which is great for a lander. That's what I was talking about. But yeah,
that's bonkers.
screw that up.
No, you're good. That amount
Take
of throttle
two.
is absolutely wild. It happens, CJ. Don't beat yourself up over it. I mean,
I
sometimes
never
you talk
make that
while
mistake,
muted.
homie.
Sometimes you burn some bacon.
Wait, Jay, Jack talks while muted?
You just cell phone yourself like twice.
Hey, also we should thank.
You're like, nope, all right, good. Well, I appreciate
Also, we
that,
should
man.
thank Parker for the $20 tip. Again, if you go to tips.nasaspaceflight.com, it goes straight to us. Nobody takes a cut. Apple, Google, nobody. Just goes straight to us. I mean, any amount of support, any way you want to support us, absolutely means the world. But it does take extra effort to go to tips.nasaspaceflight.com, and Parker did. So thank you, Parker. They say if you put BE7 on Starship and static fired it on the Star Stool 5 times a day, I didn't even see it coming. Would it burn bacon as badly as Jack? I thought it was like a legitimate. I thought we were going to talk about, but you can't re-engine it. No, it was just a bacon joke. It was just a drive-by bacon joke. Drew Nar, thank you for the support. They say, I know it's a funding thing, but Apollo launched 10 lunar missions in 10 years, if I remember right. Artemis 1 has 1 launch in 8 years. Hard to hype that. It's different. It's apples and oranges. It's SLSs and Saturns.
I mean, guys, it's interesting. Wait, I'm muted right now. I'm like super. Like, okay, cool.
I can hear you.
Okay, cool. No, I checked it. Once again, I apologize about talking while muted. I don't like doing that, but I'm professional over here. Anyway, what I was saying is like, everybody harps on SLS for being too expensive. Part of the reason why it carries a high unit cost per launch is
they don't launch it a lot.
It was never, it wasn't, dude, it wasn't funded correctly. It was flat funded. You can't flat fund a development program, and I know people like, oh, EJ, it was cost plus. It was cost plus. Yeah. Cost plus what? Cost plus what? You want to build a rocket that goes to the moon. It doesn't matter if it's made out of old shuttle parts or you scratch build the design. This is a multi-billion dollar endeavor. This is a hard thing to do. It's going to take time. And if you guys go back and look at SLS's funding, it's basically flat funded. So right in the beginning of the program, it was superbly overfunded to the point where they were hitting milestones left and right because they had the budget that they needed. SLS passed a ton of CDRs in the beginning of the program. They were way overfunded. And then they started to need more money because it goes from just drawing plans out to actually going and making the stupid thing, right? You got to make it. You got to build the factory for it. You got to build tooling for it. Those are the parts that got underfunded. That's the reason why, along with the typical problems that are encountered with spaceflight, anything with spaceflight having teething problems, because that's just how it is, right? That's the reason why it's taken so long. It wasn't funded. This project was not funded correctly. You're trying to build like the Golden Gate Bridge, and you're trying to build that for the price of I don't know. I'm not going to say the Bay Bridge, but you're trying to build the Golden Gate Bridge for like the price of the Tacoma Narrows, right? That's right. Not you're not going to. It's not funded. The project was never funded correctly, and the repercussions of that is that it carries a huge, because the factory took so much longer to make the stupid thing. That's so much more time that gets roped into your launch costs with how NASA compounds launch costs. That's how they do it. It's all the time that it took to develop it. And because it took a longer time to make, it carries a huge price tag. It was never funded correctly. The Apollo program did 10 missions in 10 years because it was funded correctly.
It was also managed correctly. It wasn't canceled and uncanceled, then canceled, then uncanceled, then changed, then tweaked, then canceled, then uncanceled. It's definitely a funding thing, definitely a management thing also.
That went through 3 different presidents, and right now SLS is at 4.
It's so frustrating to feel like we can't do things anymore.
I think that's going to change, Jack.
That's part of why, in our earlier discussion about Artemis 2, why these things feel so good and why they make you feel so, at least in my case, it's like both of you agreed, patriotic or just excited about the future. Is because it feels good to feel like we can do things, and it feels really frustrating to feel like we can't. So I don't know, Drew. Thank you for the support. I know it can be tricky to feel hyped. given the long and bumpy road that is taking us to get here in the Artemis program. But I hope that as we get closer to February or closer to whenever Artemis 2 does launch, that you start to feel a little bit of that excitement and that joy, because we're going back to the dang moon finally. Like, can we set aside all of the disappointed voices and negativity for a brief moment and just be like, oh my god, we're about to send people back to the moon. And yeah, they're not landing this time, they're going around it, but like, we're doing it. It's been decades and decades and decades. Yeah, the hype train. Let's sail. Like, let's go.
Dude, we're there. That's what I'm saying, man. We're on the 5-yard line. Just put it in the end zone. Let's go. Hand egg again. Sorry.
No, you're good. They need to get a hole-in-one into the net so that the wicket touchdowns on the first base.
Wait, who's on first?
What's on second, though?
Oh my god!
But that's what I'm saying, man. We're there. Guys, I said this a little while back on a flame trench. You know, I think it was in regards to Jared Isaacman, NASA administrator, and Sean Duffy being put in there as interim administrator. Dude, I think, you know, regardless of how people feel about this, I think NASA is being reorganized to really focus on the human exploration element. That is to the detriment of the science program, and that sucks because it doesn't have to be one or the other, but whatever. But I think that's going to change. I think you'll see, it did take a little bit of time, and we kind of went in a roundabout way because we flat funded SLS, but you know, everything is in place. Everything's in place to make more of these things. We just got to do it. Like, and I think NASA's going to move back to basically how NASA did science during the Apollo program, which is let your human exploration operations drive your scientific discovery. And I don't know, some people don't like that. Some people do like that. I mean, time will tell whether it was a good move or a bad move to do. But I think the time to get hype, at least for Artemis 2, is now. Dude, it's happening.
Agreed.
5 months away. It's been 56 freaking years since the first moon landing.
So exciting.
We're so
finally
close.
So close. Bacon. Thanks for the tip. They say, why are we going back to the moon when we can't even cook bacon here on Earth? Jeez. Again, I should really read these before I read them on air. I was like ready to launch into the like, no, it'll be good. No, it was just another bacon joke. Oliver, thank you. They say, I love when you three try to disagree with each other, but you are basically on the same side as most of us are. Love you guys.
We just don't want to grandstand you guys all day, you know, like, oh, we're all in agreement. You should think the same thing. We do like diversity of thought here. You know, that's what this whole show is about. Like, you know, some people like their bacon burnt. Some people like their bacon burnt and some people don't. Just saying. Sorry, man.
No, you're not. Don't lie to me.
I
Don't
actually
lie
am,
to me and
because
say
I
you're
know
sorry.
I know that this was an honest mistake. Like, dude, it happened. Like, I've burnt stuff I've burned stuff before. Everybody's done
After
that.
the show, maybe in the post show, which you do have access to if you remember, maybe in the post show I will reveal additional context.
Right. Hey, there's only a finite window of bacon, like when the bacon is perfect. If you let it go like even 30 seconds too long, it starts to get too crunchy. I understand that, and I can respect that. That's why I'm trying my hardest not to dogpile on you. But part of me is like, it's fun and I enjoy it. You know,
Sure,
unlike like I enjoy cooking bacon not burnt. You know?
Not burnt, yeah. Like you enjoy properly cooked bacon, right?
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Roseanne, thank you so much for the support. Ninja Decimator, pew 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 again. Sherbert, bagels, bacon, cook times, words, things Jack is wrong about today. Boston Skirvin, thank you for the support. They say, you go back, Jack, do it again. We'll burn it, bacon, round and round.
Santana.
Steely Dan or Santana? Or is that Steely Dan?
I think you're right, Sawyer. I think
thought it
it's
was Steely Dan.
I think Yeah, I think
Drew
you're right. I'm
Nar
wrong.
with another super chat and another bacon joke. Jack's bacon could be used for the leading edge of shuttle wings. Carbon. It was basically all carbon at that point. Jalapeno impregnated ablative carbon.
Actually, you know what's funny? Joe Barnard kind of proved this. Meat is actually a great ablative heat shield.
Yeah.
It actually is. You guys, there's a book by an ex-JPL engineer called Randall Munro. The book's called Randall Munro's the author. The book's called What If. It actually broke down the science of if like you drop meat from like on a reentry trajectory, right? You put it on a deorbit trajectory. Like, would it cook the meat? The answer is no. It's going to basically pan-sear it. It's going to cook one side, but the other side would be fine. But he actually proved that the thermal flux of meat is actually quite good. It's actually a pretty dang good heat shield. Because, I mean, it's carbon, right? Like, it's not just saying, like, it's actually a pretty good heat shield.
Wait, the XKCD guy was a former JPL engineer?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, he was the one that cooked the meat on the rocket trying to, right?
No, that was Joe Barnard.
That was Joe Barnard, yeah.
Right. Speaking of, we didn't even
Great
we didn't
YouTube
even talk,
video.
Yes,
Did we even talk about Joe calling out Chris Kemp on Twitter when we talked about Astra? Because that was a banger tweet.
Yeah, we
But
should show
anyway.
that. We should
Also,
show that.
I love Chris Kemp's response. That was just wrong.
No.
It's like, yeah, no, it's like, dude, I mean, I'm willing to take your word for it, but like, show us some receipts, show us some telemetry.
Sure, let me make sure that
Talk
was the
to
response.
us, Chris. Let's go.
Yeah, it was just
Love to
wrong
talk to you.
with a period, so you know he's angry.
Yikes. It's always tough, man. Like if you are in the public square, saying to the CEO of a rocket company, like, bro, you're wrong. That takes some chutzpah.
Chutzpah.
Good use of chutzpah.
Yes.
Yeah. RC Horseman, speaking of chutzpah, gifting 10 Red Team memberships. Thank you, RC.
There's the tweet from Joe B.
Oh yeah, on your way to orbit, lol. At a minimum, you lost like 300 meters a second of delta V in your first stage, and we're about 30 seconds from main engine cutoff at about 30 kilometers, half the nominal altitude for T plus 2 minutes 30 seconds. That thing was never making orbit. You can't say you care about truth and have it both ways. And then Chris Kemp just said, wrong. Now, I will say, there are other seemingly former or current employees responding to Joe's tweet saying like, oh, in Monte Carlo sims, it worked. Or, oh, because the engine stopped working, we still had all the propellant, even though, man, if Moldy Space can't get it working in Realism Overhaul, I'm sorry.
Dude, we know people at Astra. Let's get Chris Kemp on a flame trench, dude. Prove us wrong, dude. I'd love to hear it. I'm serious. Come on here. Get in here, dude. Tell us what's up.
Bring him on Twitch. See how Twitch chat does with it.
I mean, I am willing to hear arguments and counter arguments. Like heck, let's get Peter Beck and Chris Kemp and someone from Firefly. We'll get them all on the flame trench, and they can just like brawl. How great would that be?
Jason Kim is the CEO.
Jason Kim, thank you.
What's the worst that could happen?
What's the worst that could happen?
I don't know.
The fire anger between
they
them
don't need
will
to
burn
fight.
the
I prefer
bacon
just a
even more.
round table. What's up, Sawyer?
No, I was saying that the heat and fire from all of them complaining will cook the bacon and burn it even more.
I thought you were going to say be enough to fuel an orbital rocket that actually makes orbit, but no, you went the bacon route. Thank you, Sawyer. Speaking of going the bacon route, Scott Herod also doing that with a super chat saying Jack bacon cooking time equals re-entry temperature. Corey, thank you for the store purchase. They actually got the Max print and didn't rip on me for the bacon, so thank you, Corey, for that. I know Max appreciates it, and your walls and your eyes will too. Zelio, thank you for the support. It's a new pack of bacon for Jack Fund.
Jake is sleeping on the bed by me.
I quit.
Dude, if I ever start a punk band, that's what I'm going to call it.
Jake for back.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, dude.
Yeah, I got you, man.
Oliver Redmond also with a super chat. Thank you so much. They say, poor Jack, he gets roasted more than his bacon. Sorry, not sorry.
Dude, guys, like he admitted his mistake. We don't need to kick him in the face when he's down.
Is this the most support we've ever gotten on a flame trench? Because I sort of feel like it is, and it's only because of the bacon. The bacon, which, mind you, I made and burnt here in Starbase, so we should probably talk about Starship, right?
Actually, wait, what did Kevin say? Can bacon be used as fuel for a rocket? It would end up maybe even darker than Jack's bacon. Well, no, I wouldn't use the bacon. I would use the bacon grease for a solid rocket boost.
Yeah, it's like the binder or the fuel.
Fellas,
Yeah.
I just had a good idea for a YouTube video.
Bacon rocket?
Oh, that's
Joe,
gonna require a lot of
Joe, if
bacon.
you're watching.
Somebody called Joe Bernard.
Somebody call Joe.
I actually
Joe.
have his number. I could call him right now. Be like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
we
dude."
should call him. We should call him. That's a good idea.
Call him live on air? I don't know.
No,
That's not,
no, you don't
that's
need to
not
do
cool.
that.
That's not cool to
He'd
do.
be like, "What are you doing right now?"
What are you doing?
I just,
in my
I just
swamp?
get a
Yeah.
text from him that just says, no.
Wrong.
Yeah, wrong. Wrong, period. No context. So Starship, am I right? Flight 11, mid-October.
Is it this
Yeah.
week or is it next week? What do we got?
Seems like it's going to be week 2 of Octi, which is what I'm calling October now, apparently.
Can you not do that?
No, we're doing it, dude. It's done. Conky, Octi, Glenny, Sheppy, Chasey.
What?
Thank you,
What is
Jay.
wrong with
Thank you.
Does anyone else smell burning toast? Or
No,
bacon?
it's burning bacon.
Bird bacon.
Oh.
You
walked
walked
into
right
that
into
one.
that one, my guy. You set that up like a
You're doing that on
T-ball.
purpose.
No, I swear. I swear that I regret it. I wish I had had more foresight.
That's like putting a ball in a T-ball stand for Aaron Judge. Come on.
Speaking of foresight, we have a
screw you.
little bit better foresight. I'm trying so hard to keep segueing back. We have a little bit of foresight into when Flight 11 is going to happen. There was some NOTAMs and local notices to mariners posted recently, which were the first week of October. But as of, I think, this morning, they had been updated. At least the launch, the local notice to mariners had been updated to the week of October 13th with a whole bunch of backup days. Now, the 13th is Columbus Day, which is also the name of a really good book. It's the first book in the Expeditionary Force series. You should read it if you like science fiction. We're not
Also
sponsored.
known to some as Indigenous People Day. Just want to make sure we acknowledge that as well.
Absolutely. It is a holiday, is my point, and I'm unclear if they're able to actually launch on the 13th or if they would want to. I don't know what the holiday situation is. I have not read the agreement with Cameron County on Boca Chica Beach. Although, another little bit of news that happened this week is that hopefully for the better, Starbase, the city, will now control Boca Chica Beach, or at least work in partnership with Cameron County to clean up and improve the beach and limit erosion and etc. So that is rather interesting. We'll see if that has any ramifications in terms of beach access or how they can close it. But yeah, it looks like Flight 11 is shaping up to be the second week of October. And that sound you're hearing is the collective sigh of relief from everybody at NSF because the NSF UK meetup is the first week of October.
Yeah.
Like just like literally this morning when that notice changed, I was like, "What? Hear that? What is it? Oh, that's Kevin going, thank God!"
No, that was Carson going, thank God, because then he doesn't have to run the whole show.
Right. Also me. Also a bunch of people who are going to be at the UK meetup. So yeah, second week of October for Flight 11. Do we think that's going to stick, EJ? I mean, I feel like that's plenty of time.
Yeah, that'll stick. That's the one. That's the one. The real question, actually, Jack, I'm finding myself wondering, okay, why do you need another week now? What's going on? Something wrong? Like,
Yeah, I almost wondered if they were going to start putting the, Star Stool equipment back together and get the ship back out for another spin prime or something. Like, what is with the week delay?
I mean, didn't they put Booster 15 on a transport stand today, if I'm remembering right? Like
They did, and it's got its hot stage ring, and they moved it out to the Rocket Garden, so it's chilling.
Why an extra week? Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Like,
Yeah, I would love to know. I mean, maybe since this is the last version 2 ship, and I think we've all sort of heard the whispers on the wind that they sort of want a complete heat shield on this one, and they want to see what a nice actually pristine heat shield with. I mean, even Gerst in that symposium talk that he gave recently said that they're going to do less tests on the heat shield on 38 because of the data they got from 37. So maybe it has something to do with ship readiness in terms of like we really want to dot our T's and cross our I's and make sure that we're giving this ship the best possible chance to soft land in the water. I don't know. I would fly on the wall of the various meeting rooms where these decisions are made. I wish just to know like what's the logic there behind the week delay. And I hesitate to even call it a delay, but like we did get notices for the first week of October. Now we have different notices. So whether you want to call it a delay or an adjustment or whatever, but it's curious that there was the first set and now there's this second set. But if you're wondering what's going on with Starship Flight 10, 11, oh my God, Starship Flight 11, it's looking like mid-October.
I mean, you're wearing a Flight 10 shirt. I get it.
I am wearing. This is actually. I haven't had one of these. This is not. I'm not even trying to do a store plug. All of my flight patch shirts have been the big one, like what EJ is wearing, which I do like the big design, but I kind of like the little chest like emblem kind of thing. I don't know. I'm a fan. I hadn't gotten one of these yet, and I was making a store purchase just to grab myself some new shirts because I wear through these things like crazy. Just trashing them on the beach, wearing them while I'm working on the truck and getting them greasy and stuff. So I need new ones a lot.
Hey, AJ, how'd that flight go?
Not great, Bob. Not great, Bob.
Yeah, I like the emblem look. Like I like the smaller. Anyways.
Anyway.
Flight 11. Am I right? The launch window is oh God, it's in Zulu in the document. 23, and it's also 24-hour time.
That's 6:15 p.m. Central.
All right, there you go. So close-ish to sunset. I mean, if they push a little ways into that window,
it's like the usual window from what we've been seeing recently, right?
Yeah, but the days are getting shorter.
Yeah. And when does daylight saving time change?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't actually know the answer.
Me neither.
Don't parrot what I do back to me. It makes me realize how horrible it is.
Lenny, Artie.
Oh no! Oh jeez! Oh God! Oh no! What have I done?
Stop.
It's November 2nd, so the time is correct for the UTC / Zulu translation right now.
Right now, sunset is 7:21. Presumably, it'll be closer to 7 by the time we get to mid-October. So yeah, we might be in for quite a treat for Flight 11 in terms of visuals. Fingers crossed. But in terms of what else has been going on in Starbase, well, EJ said they put the booster on a transport stand. They moved it over to the rocket garden. So that's cool. Yay. Also, they started testing booster 18.3 over at Massey's. So that's cool. One step closer to Block 3 vehicles, hopefully Block 3 booster. I don't think I should have thrown this tweet in the document. I'm going to do it right now. I had a little bit of a brainwave. Was it this morning? Was it yesterday morning? What is time?
Human construct. Anyway.
Yeah, right. Hang on. I'll throw this in the back channel. I'll give Jay a moment to show it. But I'm curious. Once we get through this lull after version 2 starships are over, presumably we would have had less of a lull if Ship 36 hadn't blown up. But I still feel like there's a bit of a gap here. And it's curious to me. I don't feel like SpaceX really wanted a gap in between Starship flights. So here's my tweet. It said, thinking about Starship version 3, feels like Raptor 3 may be behind. Booster 18, Ship 39 are coming along slowly. But do they even need to go faster? The highest Raptor 3 spotted is only in the 30s. What is the long pole for flight right now? Let's go around the horn. What do we think is the long pole for Starship version 3 right now? Is it component testing? Is it Raptor 3? Is it something else that I haven't thought of? And there were some good answers in the replies to that tweet. But I'm curious what you guys think. EJ, I'll let you to go first. Like, version 3 Starship, are they waiting on the pad? Are they waiting on test tanks? What do you think?
So I just got to read your response. Feels like the Raptor 3 may be behind. Raptor 2. Let me think about this for a second. Sawyer, do you have any immediate thoughts? I'm going to kind of ponder this one for a second. Sorry, I was trying to fix my mic and make sure it was not muted.
I do.
All good.
So Sawyer, go. I'll think about this for a second.
For me, my thought, honestly, is going to be Pad 2. Because if you think about it, you could have the Raptors ready right now. You could have a Block 3 ship and a Block 3 booster ready right now. Can you launch it from Pad 1? No. It can only launch right now, as is, unless they do some weird modifications from Pad 2. And Pad 2 is not ready yet. So that's my thought process here. If we didn't have the delay from Ship 36, same deal. If we had already had Flight 11, say now, I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, it wouldn't matter anyway. They would still be waiting for the pad to be completed, which obviously they're still doing testing on it because they just moments ago completed a deluge test at Pad 2 as we speak about it. So that's my thought process. You could have every vehicle and every engine ready, but if you have nowhere to launch it from, it's not going to matter. So the long haul item right now is currently Pad 2.
I don't agree.
Ooh.
I don't agree at all, actually. I think Pad 2 is the thing that's furthest along for Block 3. I mean, they just did a deluge test with it again. They've been doing tests with it nonstop. Yeah, Pad 2 doesn't have a QD arm on its tower for the ship, but, I mean, they haven't even stacked a version 3 ship yet. Maybe it's subcomponent testing. Maybe Raptor 3. I mean, that's what got me thinking when I did that tweet earlier, is there seemingly has been a lull in Raptor testing at McGregor, and it's like, are they tweaking the design of Raptor 3 before they move into full rate production for flight engines? Are they just going slower because they don't need to go faster? Because it's, going to be a while until the vehicles are ready for engines, because they haven't even built the vehicles and they have to get cryoed before they're even ready for engines. It's just it's something to think about. But I personally think that Pad 2 is the furthest along. I think the least furthest along is probably Raptor 3. But this is my complete. I'm just guessing here. I could be way wrong. But that's my read of the situation. Is it's either getting data from version 2 ships, which they finally did with 37, or just getting Raptors ready to go. Raptor 3, because Raptor 3 is a whole new beast.
I mean, I get what you're saying on that point. But like you were saying, if they, were to do some, like you said, they don't have a vehicle to test on there right now. Could they right now using Pad 2 put a booster on it? Genuine question, not being.
I don't think so. No.
So that's, while I get the Raptors are behind, and while I get the rest of the vehicle design is somewhat behind, we've seen through the windows how many of the different tanks they're already stacking. We've seen those integrated hot stage rings through the windows at Starbase. So with all of this, I mean, that's why, yes, is it far along? Definitely. But right now, it's not even capable, if there was a vehicle ready, of doing anything with it. So that's why I say that. I will probably be wrong in a couple of months if the pad is done and the vehicle isn't ready. But right now, given what I've seen and what I see in front of me, my personal opinion is that it is Pad 2.
Interesting. Also, that what we were just looking at was a live shot from one of our Rocket Ranch outpost cameras, and that was booster 18.3. That forward test tank is clearly very frosty and venty, so they are doing some cryo testing of it right now. That subcomponent testing for version 3 of the booster, really neat to see. EJ, you've been marinating over there. You're like some stew in a crock pot, the way you've been cooking over a long
Why are
period of
you
time.
making cooking references, dude? You know
I'm
what's
hungry.
coming.
It's the point. It's the point in the show where I'm hungry.
Yeah,
it
no,
happens
that's fair.
every show. Why are you surprised?
I'm going to take the high road here and not say nothing about your cooking references.
This is the low road. You referenced not referencing it. It's the low road. You're on the low road.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
You're making me reference it with like
Yep.
reverse psychology. I burned the
Nice.
bacon. I'm a bacon failure. All right, go. EJ.
No, you're not, dude. You cook good bacon. You
The
cooked
beacon of
bacon for me
bacon.
before when I was down there. It was fine. It was great. Very tasty. And I mean that. I'm not being sarcastic.
Thank you.
No, it's good. No, I've been really thinking about it, Jack. And so you're right with the pad. The pad's nowhere near finished. Like it's going to take a little bit of time. But Jack, I guess I have to ask your question with a question. Why is there a long lead item right now? Why would there even be a long lead? What do you mean a long lead? Like, SpaceX is pretty good at mastering this whole logistics game. They're pretty dang good at it, considering you see, part of being able to throw this stuff together like a pad or a tower or whatever quickly is that they're masters of logistics. They're quite good at it. So, dude, in that regard, I don't think there would be a long lead item in this particular scenario. I think they would be scaling to a date. And I think SpaceX has said, and Elon has said, that they want that pad done by the end of the year. And if that's the case, then they'll be scaling to that date. They'll try to get everybody to line up to that date. And there really wouldn't be a long lead item. I don't think there is any long lead stuff right now. I mean, Sawyer, I think you're absolutely right about the pad, right? The pad is definitely not finished, but neither is the booster. And that's what I was thinking about, like
maybe not long lead item, but like, yeah, okay, there it's a giant, loom, and all of the different threads from the different parts of the company are all getting brought into the loom and you're trying to hit a date, right? You're trying to weave it all together at the right time. I don't know what this analogy is. Just bear with me. But one of those threads could get snagged, and you got to go mess with it a little bit extra. Like, I'm not saying necessarily there's something that is way behind, or like what? Because let's say perfect world, ship 36 never blows up, right? We have 2 more flights instead of 1 more flight of a Block 2 ship left. So presumably the year has, in this scenario, 1 more Starship flight of version 2 left sometime before the end of the year, and then beginning of next year they're ready to go with pad 2, which is sort of kind of the timeline that they're already on right now. But ship 36 blew up, so there's going to be a gap. I wonder, given the gap, like in a perfect world, SpaceX would want to fly as soon as possible with Block 3 after Block 2 is done flying out, right?
I mean, so I think a reasonable extrapolation would be like if Flight 12 had been using Ship 38 because Ship 36 didn't blow up, so I'm kind of using some deductive reasoning here, right? So if Ship 36 did not, in fact, blow up, right, they would have used it for, what was it, Flight 10? Right? Ship 37 would have been Flight 11.
Right.
And then Ship 38 would have been Flight 12 because they have another booster, right?
Right.
And if you kind of correlate the times between each flight, that would, there would be no stopgap, right? So like our proverbial Flight 12 would be sometime, in November, December? Yeah. And then that would give you probably about a month of downtime, bring the tool over to Block 3.
Right.
You ask what's the holdup? Ship 36 exploding, I think, is the holdup, because there's no way they didn't plan to have downtime. They didn't plan for that. That happens though, but I mean that happens when Ship 36 is itself. I think that's really more the thing. I think that looking for a long lead item with the Block 3 stuff, like version 3 stuff, I don't think that's a thing, dude. If anything, V2 kind of screwed them, or whoever hammered or dropped that COPV or something, because that was a costly mistake, and that's why we're going to get some downtime between V2s and V3s, in my opinion. I'm pretty sure that that's what's going on. I don't know. Go on.
So, this is live right now, by the way, at McGregor, the test site there.
Oh, that's not good.
That's not welding. That looks like a fire there. That is at the Merlin stand. They had completed a Merlin vacuum engine test at 7:25 Eastern, 6:25 Central. That lasted 161 seconds, and now there appears to be fire coming out the bottom.
Does that look green to anybody else?
It does look tea-tabby.
It looks kind of tea-tabby. It looks
There's-
like the oven did when I made bacon the other day.
Why are you self-owning yourself now? Fellas, if it's green, it's the copper burning off in the liner on the nozzle.
That makes sense.
It doesn't carry that. Merlin engines don't carry that much triethyl aluminum and triethyl borane.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, that's again, that is the Merlin stand out there. As you can see, there was that Merlin vacuum test, 162 seconds, and that was less than 30 minutes ago, and this is that stand.
David Anderson in chat. It's green.
It's green.
It's green.
It's not orange.
I mean, that's why you have dedicated test facilities. Probably not great, whatever we're looking at here. Merlin eating itself. But
Whoa.
that's definitely not great. But, that's why you have a test facility that's not the same as your launch site. Just ask Maracy's Outpost how that went.
Yeah, that didn't look great, Bob. Just pointing that out. I know people in chat were mentioning it, and we do have McGregor Live 24/7 if you want to rewind over there and see what happened.
Yeah, that's broken. That engine is kaput.
Well, there's your problem. The fire is supposed to be coming out the other end, not the side.
Yeah, that's not great. Sawyer,
Not great,
like
Bob.
you said, that's not great.
Not great, yeah. Definitely go back, rewind it, and you can see exactly what happened and how the kind of sparks/fire continued from there.
Oof.
Yeah, McGregor Live is a cool place to hang out. There's so much nuance with McGregor that you can learn in the same way that there's nuance with Starbase or the Cape. It's really fascinating, and it's dovetails with exactly what we're talking about in terms of Starship version 3, Raptor version 3. If you want to see Raptor 3 tests, they happen all the time over at McGregor. In fact, today, it looks like Raptor South did a 224-second test.
Nice.
See in the top left there. So McGregor Live exists. I don't think a lot of people know that it exists, but we have more than Starbase Live as our 24/7 live stream.
And more than Space Coast Live, which right now is just being demolished by storms.
So,
rip.
Yeah, right. One thing that McGregor Live caught today, guys, is Falcon 9 serial number 100
See?
being moved around. Booster 1100 being moved around at McGregor. That's also a lot of light.
It's a lot of lightning. Is that live right now?
That's
live. The sky is angry.
It is so angry right now. It's like, why do you put CO2 in me?
Nice.
I was worried that was too far, but I think it was just far enough.
No, that was good. That was good. That was good. That was not overcooked.
Good. Oh my god. What were we even talking about? I don't even remember anymore.
I was talking about McGregor Live. We saw the 100th Falcon 9.
That's right. It's throwing me off because we refer to Falcon 9 boosters as like 10 and then 1076, 1069.
This is 11 balls? Is that what
1100? We're not calling it 11. We can't call it 11 balls.
No.
11 double-aught?
It would have to be balls 11. That's the only way in which that works. However,
yeah, but that means the zeros need to be in front.
I think right, but that's not how it works, so it can't be that. So I submit we should call it 1100. 1100.
I like serial number 100. I think that's cool.
That's also good.
I mean, it's going to be called 1100 because after that it'll be 1101, 1102.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's a really neat catch. Good shout, EJ.
It definitely has a 100% emoji on the side too, from what I can tell.
So sick. I love you love just when they do fun jokes.
It has the red 100 with 2 underlines underneath it on the side, guys. No. I'm not even kidding.
Wait, did they use the Apple spec emoji or did they use the Twitter spec emoji?
I don't know which one it is, dude. I don't know the difference.
Someone might be about to get fired. Steve Kalovic is not going to get fired because they are supporting the stream. They say, can we get Kevin Bacon to cook for Jack? That's hilarious.
6 degrees of burnt bacon.
I think I'm only 2 degrees separated from Kevin Bacon, which is kind of crazy.
Really?
But, unlike the actual bacon, which I cooked, which was many degrees separated from where it should have been.
I love how we got it so just Jack as a defense mechanism is just owning himself.
If I do it, it feels better because then you can't do it because I'm already doing it.
Oh, I still can and I still will in the post show. Don't worry.
Bacon frozen in carbonite. Thanks for the $5 tip. They say Starship and New Glenn in October. No, I'm not even going to acknowledge the name. Hope it's not like the last New Glenn versus Starship launch. It took me a week to recover. Yeah, hopefully they don't line up. Oh my God, we have a poll in chat. Biggest threat to the climate: CO2 or burnt bacon? Chris B, what are you doing, my guy?
No, that's what you get for the bacon was crispy.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Anonymous, thank you for the support. They got the solar transit shot. I think EJ might be dying. They say
good.
cool pick.
I'm
Thank
good.
you, Anonymous. Bye
There
for
it
the
is.
$10 super. Thank you so much. Yeah, there's the 100. Nice.
Dude, it's got a 100%.
It has the
on it.
emoji.
That's awesome. That's so good.
They cannot test V3 ship on Launch Mount 1. Drunar, thank you. They say new liquid nozzle technology.
Yeah, Drew. I don't think that's new technology.
And UK Hudson, thank you for the support. They say, Jack, see at McGregor, even SpaceX is burning bacon now. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I again did not see that one coming.
Does bacon burn green or?
Yeah, if you try hard enough. I mean, the
It had
jalapeno bacon
jalapeno
kind of
in it.
did.
Come on.
Yeah. So
What
good.
color is jalapeno?
What?
What color is a jalapeno?
Green.
Right, and it was jalapeno bacon, right?
Right. Which is
I'm going to be
it was green.
jalapeno business about these burnt bacons until the end of time. Anyway, speaking of end of time.
Oh, dang.
Someone in chat said they wanted one more Sawyer pun. Never said it had to be a good one.
Fair. That's fair.
A little forced, but I got it. We got there.
All right. Well, we are coming up on the end of the trench. We're getting into the combustion byproducts. It's mostly steam at this point. But yeah, really quickly, do want to mention we do have This Week in Spaceflight coming up. If you want actual news and information instead of us just rambling about how I burned bacon for 3 hours, This Week in Spaceflight is going to premiere in about 2 minutes and 30 seconds or so. So that is coming up here shortly. Stay tuned for that. It's going to be a good one. Also, have to thank our flight engineers and launch director level members. I don't think Jay was ready for me to say that. Oh, hey, he was ready. Our launch directors and flight engineers are the 2 highest levels of the membership program. It's an outstanding amount of support. So thank you so much to our launch directors and our flight engineers. You get your name at the end of the trench and NSF Live. What do you, EJ, what? We have a minute and 53 seconds.
Look at what Luke said. Look at what Luke Lanyon Hogg said in chat. Look.
Can you burn bacon in the rain? Oh my God.
double down. I love it. I saw that. I'm like, I have to share that in the back channel.
I had to. I'm sorry.
Are you though?
No,
nope.
Not at all.
Nope.
So yeah, it looks like Starship's going to be mid-October. We have a minute and a half. I guess we should probably wrap or something.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Who
if we
even
go
am
over
I
time, we'll be
anymore?
burnt.
Oh my God, dude. Oh my, Sawyer, thank you for being on. I will outro you so you can stop talking. Thanks for being on, Sawyer.
Just because I'm being outro doesn't mean my mic gets muted yet. Thank you, Jack. It's great to be here. Thank you for being a good sport of playing along with the burnt bacon.
EJ, thank you for also being on this week and being slightly less forgiving about the bacon thing than Sawyer was.
No, it's good. Thank you for having me on here, guys. It's a privilege being on here, and I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. I do stream on Twitch if you want to catch me during the week, and sometimes when there's time, I do cover stuff for NSF here. Yeah, I'm over on Twitch, twitch.tv/EJ_SA, or just !EJ in the chat over there. But thank you for having me. Do appreciate it. Back to you, Jack.
Yeah, heck yeah. We do a post-show and a pre-show every episode of The Flame Trench, and the pre-show does tend to go out on EJ's Twitch, so if you want to bootleg it without being a member, that's a way to get the pre-show. I shouldn't have just told you that, but you could bootleg the pre-show if you wanted to. You could also just be a member. That's like a really cool thing to do.
No, they can come over.
But you should go check out EJ's Twitch one way or the other, whether you want to be a bootlegger or not. But I digress. I'm Jack Byer for NSF. Let's all go watch Twist. Oh yeah, and thanks to Jay for operating the stream.
Burnt bacon.
And here we go. We have liftoff. Propulsion continues to be normal.
RCPA chamber pressure looks good.
Rolling up. Roger, roll, Atlantis.
Water towers fly!
143 unfolds to go.
Indeed. We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
This methane will be igniting in the flare, correct?
Yikes. You read? Sure. We don't need any more of these.